Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we'll talk about the Xbox price hikes amid the launch of GTA 6, GTA 6 pre orders being upwards of 6 to 8 times more on PlayStation, to no one's surprise, Hideki Nishino's Famitsu interview, and the future of PlayStation, and all things live service. And of course, we'll address the other pricing elephants in the room because that seems to be the name of this week, pricing controversies. But before we get into that, we will go ahead and see what everybody's been playing. Weeb, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing? Hopefully, you feel better.
Yeah, I do feel better. It's just this damn uh
The
throat
heat.
that well the heat too, but like I don't know what the hell it is. Like 1 week I was feeling awful, then now and but had no cold, and now I'm like a week already, coughing and sneezing. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And of course then this damn heat that's killing me. But yeah, other than that, fine. Went a short holiday, so I had to leave my PlayStation behind. So I got some use out of my Steam Deck for a change. I played. Well, I did continue Elliot a bit, and then before I went on holiday, and then I hopped onto another Zelda like yeah homage basically called Under the Island, which is I think also available on PlayStation. Probably even more sort of a love letter to Zelda than Elliot is. It pretty much inspired by Link's Awakening. Same concept. You're on an island. You gotta save it. Um, yeah, it was pretty interesting. It's a modern day setting, so everything is there are cars running around. You fight with a hockey stick. Um, has sort of that similar quirky sense of humor that Link's Awakening has, which is why it's still my favorite Zelda game. Yeah, did and I finished it, so yeah, enjoyed it. Pretty yeah, it's pretty short. It's like I think four dungeons, so it's relatively short compared to normal Zelda game. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Mm.
And then after I came back, I started playing Star Fox, which yeah, released this week. So it's the
I was like,
and
did
what it
you
was
finish
like.
that as well? Because like I've seen people pick it up and literally
Oh,
post they finished it in the same day.
uh, I'm close. Like I literally picked it up today, and I'm like I think like the last three or last two three levels. There
Okay.
are some I understand there are some areas where you have like different routes, so you can replay them and then unlock a different level and then play that. But yeah, technically you can literally finish this game like in a single sitting. So it's pretty short. Yeah, it's yeah, I know. I don't want to go into the whole is it worth it discussion. I mean, you know what it is. Like it is a remake of an like the fifth remake, whatever, of the same game. So yeah, they're not going to change the story or the mission structure, or it just looks better and has full FMV cutscenes or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty fun. So far. It can be challenging, if you're playing it not on the easiest setting. Um, yeah, you have lives that you earn, and if you don't, if you run out of them, then yeah, you're done, and you have to restart the level. Um, yeah, I mean there's lot of stuff going on screen. And constantly your fucking teammates are begging begging you to save them because they screwed up, and if you don't, then they get knocked out, and then you can't use them for the next mission because they have to repair their jet. So there's some persistency in terms of your actions have consequences, um, or at least what happens in the previous mission has an impact on the next one. aside from their sort of different routes that I'll still have to figure out. Um, yeah, but if you played any Star Fox game, you kind of know what you're into. It's basically just the most yeah gorgeous looking yet, I guess, in the entire series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of funny that that's coming from a Switch game. Um, I do hope that they're. I mean, I don't know how well this game is going to, but come on, Nintendo, just make a new one, and give it like a proper length and. If this does well, just do it. Uh, have some balls and stop remaking the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I mean, clearly Nintendo also has caught the remake, reimagining, whatever fever because they also still have Ocarina of Time remake coming up this year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, yeah, well, what is what is, I guess. Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Omar, how have you been, sir? And what have you been playing?
I'm fine. Sadly, the Metroidvania community got bamboozled, including myself. For the past few days, Otter and have been putting out disclaimers, hyping us up. Then they reveal a DLC. I'm like, let's go. Otter and is one of the best Metroidvania I've ever played. So I was excited for a new DLC before the release of the new game. Only to find out so far the DLC is literally 1 minute long. They just
Wow.
added, yeah, they hyped it up as free DLC. I'm like, cool, they've done free DLC before, but with this one, it's literally to tie up loose ends between that game and the next game and the prequel. I'm like, you could have given us something, or it could have been a new tweet. It shouldn't have hyped it up like that. So that was a bummer. Um, Other than that, I'm playing Elliot. I'm close to the end. I feel like I did my research before I even Googled myself because of some stuff not gonna spoil. Besides that, no. Elliot's still fun to play. Still some gameplay. And other than that, I got reminded why I love Eternal Nocturne, which I went back and played a little bit of it, tried to look for the DLC. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Cool. And of course, last but not least, our guest tonight, main man Logic, joining us for the first time in a while. How are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
I'm good, man. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, stuff
You
like it.
sound great.
Okay. All right, cool. Hey, what's up, fellas? What's going on? I haven't been playing a lot of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the newest stuff that I've been playing has been Forza Horizon 6. I've been continuing to put hours in, and finally started playing that on PC. I have been playing, I've spent all my time up until now playing on the Xbox Series X, but I've been continuing my OLED conversion of the studio. So I added one new OLED monitor earlier this weekend, and then I've got another one coming in tomorrow, and that'll wrap things up. But because of that, I installed Forza Horizon 6 finally on PC, and did a test of the new OLED monitor playing Forza Horizon. I will say, I think Nate, I think you saw my Blue Sky message. I will say, I'm not ready to do an apology tour for
Mm-hmm.
Forza Horizon 6. I mean, I still hold it culpable for, this being a template that we're now, out on our fourth outing on
Yeah.
with not much changed. But I will say, the one thing I will say that is super impressive this time around is the difference between Forza Horizon 5 on console and Forza Horizon 5 on PC. I did not feel was that great.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chasm of difference between Forza Horizon 6 on Xbox and Forza Horizon 6 on PC in a complementary way, where the PC is just like giants heads and shoulders above what is going on console. So on
Absolutely.
console, we're still at 4K 30 in quality mode. What would happen on Forza Horizon 5 is that you'd sometimes get like decent performance, like 80 frames per second,
Mhm.
90 frames per second maybe, but you would constantly get these regressions between Xbox and Nvidia. I would say more so on the Xbox side. You would constantly get these, hey, this thing was running along at like 87 frames per second last time, and now all of a sudden after this update, it's tanking at like 57 frames per second. And it was
Yeah,
all
I
of
definitely
these like
saw that.
voodoo doctor having to dig underneath like the hood of Forza and Nvidia between the two to like tweak like the biggest minutia of settings to try and get the thing performing again. And it was just a frustrating experience, and to the point where I eventually gave up. And I'm like, look, if this thing runs at 60, at near 60 frames per second, I'm fine. I'm just not going to bother with it. Forza Horizon 6 looks amazing. The ray tracing on PC looks great. It is incredibly performant, and I ran it on an RTX 4070 build. And just the saturation of colors, and like I said, the reflections and like everything that they are doing graphically looks like it actually deliberately, consciously, intentionally takes advantage of PC hardware in a way that it needs to, and that again makes it hum far and above the 4K 30 quality mode on console. So I've been pretty happy with that.
Okay.
The other racing game that I've been playing is another release this year. Grid Legends Deluxe Edition came to the Nintendo Switch 2 earlier in the year. I always like, taking, titles that were intended for more powerful hardware and running them on the Switch 2. And so, the Achilles heel of the Switch 2 for racing games is obviously that those triggers on the deluxe on the Pro controller are not analog. And I will say, like the guys at between Codemasters and Feral Interactive, they worked some type of magic where if you drive the car correctly, even though those switches aren't analog, you are able to trail brake using certain controller mechanics and get the car to be almost as responsive and behave very similarly to having analog sticks. So I've been very impressed by that game. Obviously plays at 4K 30, which for the Switch 2 is impressive. And again, I'm playing that on an OLED monitor as well. So and then I've been playing backlog stuff. I ran a little The Division 2 today and Ghost Point Breakout,
okay.
Ghost Recon Breakout.
Division, that's a
and
throwback.
yeah,
Division 2 is always goated.
It's like that Snowdrop. Look, I will admit it's poor performance on my part. I just never realized it. I just never thought about it, I guess.
Mhm.
I did not realize they never added DLSS to the Division 2.
I actually didn't.
So
realize
that mofo,
either.
that mofo is doing what it does with no NVIDIA upscaling technology. It is doing that all, and granted, Massive Entertainment has worked very closely with AMD.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not quite FSR what they're doing, but like the enhancements that engine without DLSS kicks butt of a lot of engines that have DLSS implemented. Like quite frankly, if I took the Division, like if I were another developer and I put my game up against the Division 2, I would and realize that the Division 2 was not running DLSS, I would be professionally embarrassed.
Yeah,
Like it
I
is,
feel that.
it is incredibly impressive, the amount of detail and the amount of particle effects that they have running in that engine with no upscaling technology. And I'm playing it that one I was playing on an ultra wide screen at 3440 by 1440p, right, getting 109, 110, 111 frames per second. Again, on an RTX 4070, on a different RTX 4070 build. But again, and so yeah, I've with one agent I've put in like 75 hours and played up through, completed the game one time, spent tons of time just grinding, and played a certain amount of the New York City DLC. Obviously, there's additional DLC out this year And so, a while back, I started a second agent, and I was like, well, I'm going to run this agent and, complete, do another run of the regular game, but also try and get into, some more of the DLC. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now.
Cool.
And I have also been playing Borderlands 4, which not a release this year, but a release at the tail end of last year. And perfect example of the type of game that I'm saying, if I put you up against next to the Division 2 without DLSS, you should be professionally embarrassed, because Borderlands 4 is not super performant.
Not at
It
all.
does not scale well across hardware. It's incredibly frustrating. In fact, I'm now, granted, I'm running that on an RTX 3080 Ti, but I had to step it back down to 1440p, so I'm not running at 4K. And I've had to go in and make some, minor tweaks, one or two tweaks here to make it performant. And so, but the frame pacing is horrible. I mean, again, to the point of, where people say, they play shooters and it makes them feel sick and queasy. Like you're
Yeah.
feeling sick and queasy because the frame pacing is bad.
Yeah.
And like that's
I had a
almost
few hiccups on my base PS5, so I feel it was that one.
Yeah. So, and I just don't feel like, and I feel like in comparison to the past 3 Borderlands, it is just not. It's not as smooth. It is not, So I'm playing through it. It's picking up the pace a
No.
little bit now that I'm crunched through like the first kind of introductory like missions, and I'm kind of now, I've opened the safe house or whatever on the top of the cliff, and I'm heading off on the next mission, and things are a little better, but like it is not. It is not what I would expect of a AAA game asking $70, in 2025.
Who are you playing at? Which character?
I'm using. I can't remember his name. I think it's Amon, so the Forge Knight.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a big. He's kind of like a hybrid tank ranger, right? Which is, I mean, I like the character. Like I will say that I do like, from what I've seen so far, I do like for at least that class, I do better appreciate kind of the like the ultimates, the ults and their skill tree. It is a very, like, at least that class is like very visceral. The attacks like have a lot of heavy punch and feel to them.
Yeah.
So that end of the physics implementation is good. But like I said, the other performance stuff is not great.
No, yeah, I agree. The way that I played that game, I very quickly. I mean, it benefits from playing on my PS5 Pro. They did eventually get, pretty performant there, but yeah, the way that I play one or two of the classes that I've played on there, man, the way the particle effects and stuff get going, yeah, I definitely had to prioritize playing on PC. Cause man, my character was messy. Like I was throwing sparkles everywhere and tornadoes and all kinds of stuff with the sphere girl. One of her builds uses like the sphere that you just kind of throw in the area, and then it like has a certain reach depending on how far you are in the tree, and could spread via your gun. And like honestly, I was just melting half the field. It was a lot of fun. I agree. Like that's like the best part of Borderlands 4 to me, is like the builds and the characters are really on point. Like nobody feels weak. Like you said, even the Forge Knight, he was the last one I played, but I did play all of them. And like you said, all the ultimates and stuff feel really good. I don't know if he came out yet, but I know they introduced like a hunter or like an assassin or something in the DLC, which I should own, because I have like the ultimate give me everything edition.
The luck dude.
Yeah. I just don't remember if they released him yet. I've seen the trailer or whatever when they revealed him, but I haven't been back to Borderlands since I beat it, which was disappointing. It was disappointing that it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, especially because it was Morgan's first Borderlands, and I really wanted her to see what we loved about it so much, what made people like me and Slow-Mo play Borderlands 2 for years, and it was just like the open world thing that they tried to do instead of like the open instances that they had before. It just seemed like they really struggled with that in some cases. And like you said, it didn't help performance, and there's a bunch of stuff that like really didn't hit like it was supposed to. But I still enjoyed it. I'm not mad I bought it, but but yeah, still plenty of fun to be had. Like the combat and everything was a lot of fun. They did kind of lean into like the weekly stuff as well, which again, this is funny because this will lead into um, the conversation with PlayStation and talking about revitalizing um, you know live service titles and stuff. But like again, uh, with risk of getting into it, but our time is finite, man. You don't have all day. Like you just said, you went back to Grid Legends, and you know, you're kind of moving your time around, getting to the games you can when you can. You're playing Forza, and I know like that. Forza got to keep up with the festival, so that you're not missing out on really unique cars, and things of that nature. So it's just like it's a lot to keep up with. We're definitely gonna get on that note when we get to that topic. Um, yeah. As for me,
Am I back?
um, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back.
um,
Yeah, sorry, my internet is might be messed up today.
your internet is messed up for like the last 6 weeks. I think they know by now.
Yeah, but we have a weather storm today, so it's gonna be equally even more terrible.
Gotcha.
So we will see if I will finish it or not.
Yep. But yeah, as for me, I feel a bit like Logic was saying. Like I just been all over the place, man. I feel like I'm going to be until Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync drops, which I will most likely go in 100% and not stop till I platinum it, just because I'm such a big fan of that particular entry, and it looks amazing. I went out ahead and already pre-ordered it, so I'm really excited to play Black Flag Resynced. Um, that's like the probably like the main thing, and then um, I've been playing Forza Horizon 6, like you said, trying to keep up with the festival, stuff like that. Still really enjoying myself. Um, to your point, like you said, Logic, you say you're not on an apology tour, but uh, yeah, that framework is still, like you said, relatively the same. It's done better. It's refined. It still feels great to be playing in Tokyo. They're working on some stuff with car meets and some other stuff that they're doing. So really hope they capitalize on finally being in Japan even more than they have. Especially that first major expansion they dropped. They really need to lean into the whole, you know, Tokyo drift. Uh,
Yeah, because
potentially. You know,
I feel like I'm playing like in U.S. Chinatown, and I'm talking about Chinatown in something like Midwestern United States, not even in San Fran. Like it's just very, it's like so watered down in terms of Asian culture. It's just to the point of it like not like barely being present.
exactly. Yeah, I'm like, where's all the extra stuff? Like when I watch stuff, and I've posted some stuff about it. You have the midnight run with the Wangan people, and that run the highway at night, and the Bosuzaku guys with the crazy add-ons. The cars that make all this loud noise, and like you said, I'm getting a bit of it, and as you go through some of the story beats, which are new in this one, where at least specifically when you go through the Drift Club story, they definitely got you working with one of the greatest drifters out of Japan and stuff like that. But it's like you said, it's very muted. Like you said, like that Japanese culture is not very pervasive.
Well, and this is and I've commented on how a problem with the dialogue around this game this year is that we have very young faux journalists, freelancers, and in particular, people who are not well versed in the racing game genre, like across arcade racers through sim racers, reviewing this game and giving it high scores. And one of the telltale signs of that, for any of them who complimented the game on its representation, right, of and span and scope of representing Japanese culture, if you've played the Crew Motorfest does immerses you in Japanese culture like 110% times what you're exposed to in Forza Horizon, and that's not even the entire game. Like the entire game of the Crew Motorfest, the Japan is just the opening chapter, and there's more Japanese cultural content in that opening like 8 hours, 10 hours, or whatever, however long you choose to spend in it, than there is in Forza Horizon, and that's a problem.
No, I agree. I definitely hope that they lean into it like they could, because like you said, we've seen their previous expansions. I swear, if it's Hot Wheels, I'm taking a trip. It better not be Hot Wheels. Like I'm coming to find somebody. I was like, yeah,
or Lego.
Or Lego, yeah. Hot Wheels or Lego. Stay away from all that. Like this is their chance to, partner with D1, partner. I mean, they've already partnered, at least in advertising with the upcoming Drifter movie. I'm like, all right, cool. You got Han. You need to have Veilside all over this thing. Like the fact that they don't even have the Veilside RX-7 in here. Like, come on, man. Y'all gotta work that Microsoft money. Like, this is your big move. It's selling well. It's gonna come to PS5 and PS5 Pro, with PS5 Pro enhancements, the whole nine. I'm like, come on, I need y'all to crank this Japanese thing up to 11. I want to be, at night, I want the city lit. I want to, be sliding through, the Tokyo crossing, with the music blasting. Like, they gotta get this thing going. So hopefully they can really capture that vibe. But I'm glad you also see what I was saying in that, where it's like it's there, but it's not there. It's like where's the rest of it, But yeah, I am enjoying some of the other better things that they've done. Drifting feels a lot better, a lot more controllable. I know you got a steering wheel set up. I don't even know if you've tried that yet, but
I do not, because steering wheel support in in the Forza franchise is booty.
Okay.
for anything other than like if you are dedicated to it and you have a dedicated setup and you set it up and you put it in place and you calibrate it and you leave it and that's what you play with all the time and you're like that you're on one gaming station, like you can spend the time to figure that out. I don't have the time to dedicate to like one. I play a lot of different racing games. I put my wheels up, I take them down.
Yeah.
The fact that the fact that I can't just go to Brian Component's site and pull down the settings for Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport with either of my two Thrustmaster wheels and use those settings and tweak it and calibrate it within like 30 minutes of gameplay, and that's like a constant struggle. It's just not worth my time. So, and to give it a compliment, I will say, I also don't struggle with it because the controller implementation is so good. It is probably arguably one of the best racing game feel from just using a game controller to the point where I'm like, it actually feels better for me to just sit down and use my controller than to be dorking around with wheels and pedals all the time to constantly fail out of that loop.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm not mad at the controller implementation, and as I've gone through a couple different variations of controllers, which is 100% Slow-Mo's fault, which I'll be adding him later to let him know that it's his fault that I now have my fourth GameSir G7 Pro. I just had to let him know that it's his fault, just in case, Fox is watching this and she wonders why I bought a fourth one. It's Slow-Mo's fault. But the G7 Pro 8K, I did get a chance to try it on there, and it feels real good. The new TMR sticks and stuff like that just give you that extra increase in subtlety when I'm drifting and fine tuning my angle and whatnot. So yeah, like you said, the controller implementation is really great. I guess what else have I been playing? I feel like I said, it's all over the place. I did return to Replaced, a game that was on Xbox and PC, which is phenomenal. The soundtrack in that game is incredible. So going back to that has been a lot of fun. I'm really just finishing up a lot of stuff that I've been playing already. I did also finally jump on the definitive edition for Xenoblade 1 because it finally got its Switch 2 implementation, where it's 60 frames per second. Because I just could not play that game otherwise, and I mainly play my Switch 2 docked, so being in 4K is considerably helpful. I'm still not the biggest fan of the combat in that game. That's some people are just like madly in love with Xenoblade's combat. I think it does get better in the other iterations. I feel like Xenoblade 1 is definitely, the first attempt at it. Um, some people are just like, oh man, it's so unique and it's so this. And I was like, that phrasing unique always kills me in gaming lately because I'm like, just because something's unique doesn't mean it's good or fun. Um, but yeah, the game itself it's been all right. I still think it's going to be my least favorite Xenoblade out of all of them because I mean this game doesn't really have anything that really leans into what I like. Xenoblade Chronicles X has mechs. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has the blades, and Cosmos and some of the other cool stuff from the other Xenogears games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is pretty much heralded as the greatest entry so far, and rightfully so for quite a few things. 2 is still my favorite, but 3 is definitely up there. So it's just like 1 just kind of exists. It's the thing that started the franchise, and I think it's a lot of people's favorites because it was the first one they played, but it was not really for me. Like I started it, I had it on Wii U, I had it back in the day, and I still really couldn't get into it. Um, but yeah, I'm pushing through it now. It's one of the main games I've been playing, and then I've also been trying to finish up Bravely Default HD Fairy something. I don't know why they named it that way. Um, but the HD remaster for Bravely Default, which I am like very, very much at like the very end. I think I'm missing one job class, and I'm like level 95. So like I could smack the final boss right now, no problem. I just been procrastinating. I should have never stopped playing that game when I was so close to the end because as Logic frequently mentions, re-onboarding to some games is a mess. Uh, and it's like this game isn't as bad as something like Baldur's Gate, but yeah, you definitely like, wait, why did I have this class with this class, and like what buff was I using to make this whole build work? So it's always interesting trying to go back uh, to those games and, like you said, get reacclimated. Especially while I'm also itching to get through some of the other stuff I've had in my backlog. Um, Nino Kuni 1 keeps popping up in my on my feed lately, and I never did finish that entirely, despite how much I really loved it. And Studio Ghibli working on that game has been
Hey,
awesome. Um,
I'm with you. I wish I could play it again, including the DLC. Apparently, it have a DLC. I
yeah,
went back and played two, and I regret it. One was so goated.
yeah. One was
I
the
would
real
love.
big was the real big one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I need to go back and really finish that. And then my nephew messaged me, and he recently I let him borrow Persona 5 Royale for PS5, and he got the platinum. So I was excited for that. Love the new generation playing great games. Don't let nobody tell you they only want to play, uh, you know, mobile games. Yes, all my nieces and nephews at some point played Roblox. They was young, and now they're older and they got refined tastes, because of Uncle Enate. You know what I'm saying? Now they playing Assassin's Creed, Plague's Tale, Expedition 33. They out here playing greatness. So don't let nobody stop you from encouraging the kids to play some Heat out here, because then they will find themselves. And now they ask me about all kinds of cool games. So that's also been a fun endeavor with the kids lately. They're all excited for a bunch of different upcoming games, including my niece who is super excited to play God of War Laufey because she's like, "Oh, I get to play a girl," and I'm like, "Yes, I know." She loves to play a girl in all her games if she can. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's been like the main stuff going on, or what I've been playing. Going back to, um, it's just been so much good stuff to play. Honestly, I'm just trying to finish stuff, which Morgan has been doing a great job doing. She's not here right now, but she might join us later before we get out of here. Um, but just since she's not here, She has basically just been playing nothing but Adventures of Elliot. So she's been having a ball with that. We'll get her final verdict when she's done with that. I think she's going to go for the platinum, so we'll see. But yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and jump into our first story topic up here. GTA 6. The pre-orders went live. It's been all over the place. PlayStation and, Rockstar's marketing is, ramping up significantly. PlayStation changed the entire app, which I've never seen, for the record,
Yeah,
for any game, which is crazy. So the app color
not
changed,
even the
everything.
third party game, not even Spider-Man, which is either it's a new technology that they're fiddling with, or Rockstar got money, PlayStation got money to burn on Rockstar
Yeah, I mean, this
for
is
the
this is this is the
relationship.
one thing you want to remind people. If anything, you want to remind people it's coming out. So, to all those people that are still on PS4s, you know, are the older tech, and it's like, hey, look, if you want to play GTA 6, you need to get up, get out, and get yourself a PS5 or a PS5 Pro. And it's working. I mean, in droves. Like, I mean, the timeline is flooded with people, um, literally from pretty much every continent on my timeline. People getting PS5s or getting PS5 Pros, picking them up for sometimes not even themselves. Seen several people get them for siblings or cousins and whatnot, just to make sure people are ready, so that they can look forward to play when they do play online for GTA in the future. And then of course this year Call of Duty is also this year only, current gen only, and that's going back to Call of Duty 4, which was pretty much the one that started the big rise of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 4. Now, how much that actually resembles that, we'll see when that comes out. But yeah, GTA 6 is off to a rocketing start. Early reports, much to the dismay of the the Xbox delegation on Twitter, PS5 early sales are looking like 6 to 8 times more um, than the Xbox delegation, which is no real surprise. I mean, you're talking about almost 100 million consoles versus about 35 million. So, I mean, I don't know why that fact really bothers anybody. It's just kind of like, that's how numbers work. I'm not really sure if people forgot how to count. Um, but yeah, the other thing, of course, the big thing, controversy that came along with the launch of GTA 6 is, people in dismay over, the game's physical version not coming with a actual on disc copy. There's no disc in there. It's just the code. Um, that's been up to a bunch of speculation as to why. But honestly, the only thing I can really think of is preventing leaks. A lot of people think that's not a good excuse, but I'm like, if I was working on something for 12 years and $2 billion, I don't blame them. Because I personally know several people who can get any game that comes out physically 3 to 4 days early, and that's without even trying. The local mom and pop shops, what have you. So it 100% would have leaked if, there was a physical on disc copy. Um, so yeah, if they come out with a physical later, cool. I think that'd be great for collectors and people who want that. I'm not tripping. I'm gonna just order the digital $100 edition, because I mean, I'm not trading it. GTA is not a game I trade in or get rid of. I don't really trade in games or get rid of anything anymore anyway, because I kind of know what I like, and that's the benefit of knowing what you like. You don't really want to get rid of anything. Um, but yeah, between that and the, of course, $80 standard price tag, um, has got people, in a tizzy, up in arms. Some people, is it really great enough to be $80? As if somehow it's the first $80 game, which of course we know it's not. And then it's like, again, people, even publications, out here like Kotaku and stuff, is it worth $80? And it's like, are you serious? Like, have you met Grand Theft Auto? And again, I always tell people, if you don't like it, that's fine, right? Like, there's several really popular titles that I don't vibe with. I famously talk about how I've played every Zelda and don't like a single one of them. Like, it's just not my game, and I'm cool with that. Um, but like I'm not out here raining on people's parade that are hyped for Ocarina of Time either. So yeah, some people feel like, they just got to feel some type of way about GTA launching. That's also been like a real funny one. I've seen all the tweets, clout chasing off I'm not playing GTA. Here's all the other games I'm going to play. As if somehow you play GTA, you can't play those other games. Again, the hilarious nature around GTA having people, in a fit is hilarious. And it's been a lot of fun to watch as someone who's personally excited for GTA 6. And I think it's going to do something incredible from a technical standpoint. I think it's been so long that people kind of forget the milestones that a GTA release sets. And Rockstar is going to have to remind a lot of people, and going to have to show a lot of people for the first time, because a lot of people who play GTA 5 today were so small that they don't even remember the launch of GTA 5. So yeah, there's a lot to take in from all that. But yeah, Logic. How are you feeling, sir? I don't know your pulse on this one. I don't know how big or not a fan of GTA you are. And how do you feel about the pricing structure for all this?
So I'll try and get through this. You're going to need to give me a few seconds to shake the cobwebs off. As you were talking about GTA 6, I fell asleep. Yeah, I just don't care about Grand Theft Auto 6. The only reason I care about Grand Theft Auto
Mm-hmm.
is because it will beget and enable us to get a Red Dead Redemption 3. That's the only relevance GTA has to me personally.
Okay.
I've just never found like that story or that style of content engaging.
Mm-hmm.
As the franchise progressed. I loved GTA 3. Of course, GTA 3 was a seminal, innovative title on the gaming landscape when it
Absolutely.
released in the early 2000s. Just completely flipped and changed the game. And then GTA Vice City, I was a huge fan of because that's just very like relevant to my childhood. Everything that's come after that, I've had zero interest in. Um, so so the content and like the physical copies and all that stuff, I don't
You're
care.
like, eh.
Yeah. The pricing is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize for a lot of you guys. I think a lot of you guys have heard me say this before, or definitely heard me say it last night. We hovered and remained at $60 games for 15 years. That was a longer and unprecedented time in the industry, where we held the stock price of the standard median, right, mainline SKU of a video game. Historically, the price has always risen. I can't remember if it was every 8 to 12 years or 7 to 10 years, but I've done that calculation before, and it's somewhere around one of those two brackets.
Yeah.
So we held it for longer than it has historically been done, and I've contended that as a result, we will get a rubber band effect. And a lot of what is going on in the industry now is a rubber band effect. One of those will be around gaming prices, and we will get to $80 games faster than we got to 70, because I'm sure that the industry feels that they need to quote unquote make up time. So the big question is this Rockstar setting it at $80 because they think GTA is something exceptional that is worth $80, or is this them doing what they did with NBA 2K and saying it is time for the price of games to go to $70, and yeah, we'll be the first ones to poke that bear. And
That's
I
the
mean,
second one.
I mean in
Nintendo
terms,
did that.
in terms of
Don't
trying to
forget.
set, I'm not forgetting it, but I mean in terms of trying to set a new baseline. The
Yeah.
difference when Nintendo did it, is they very intentionally, very deliberately, very loudly, and very clearly stated, Nintendo are entering a time of variable pricing, and there will be $80 games, there will be $70 games, there will be $60 games within our portfolio. What we don't have is we don't have Rockstar. We don't have any kind of similar statement from Rockstar saying, "Hey, we set it at $80 because it's GTA." Right? That's one thing. This is the thing for us all to watch. Is this heralding like the new time? Is this the trumpeters and the horns going off that it's time for $80 games?
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, I agree. That's a good point to think about. That like you said, they didn't. There's no caveat to that. It's just, hey, this is 80. The next game that we release is gonna be 80, And I mean, I'm with you on that one. Like, I mean, if it's Red Dead 3, like I'm playing it. Um, so I'm a fan of both. But yeah, Red Dead 2 was a knockout of the park, and they killed that. So I'm with you on that as well. Um, I see our resident super rock star girl has joined us. Ma'am, I don't know if you're in a position to talk already, but if you are, did you want to jump in and let the people know your thoughts on the GTA controversy as a big fan that you are?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Sorry,
hear you.
Yeah, me and
not
you.
at my mic. Um, yeah. For me, I'm paying like whatever Rockstar asked me to pay. Like, I don't give a shit about this pricing situation. I'll pay 100. I'll pay 150. I don't care. I know I'm part of the problem, and I'm willing to admit that. But again, I don't give a
At
shit
least you
because
admit it.
I love GTA. All right, I love really Rockstar. I love anything they do. I've loved all the GTA's. I've loved all the Red Dead Redemptions. I love LA Noir. I love Bully. Like there's not really a game that they've ever made that I didn't vibe with.
Yeah.
So I am completely like on board for GTA. The only really issue that I can kind of see with the situation is like the whole physical thing. Like now I understand why they're doing it. Obviously, they're about to release, whether you like GTA or not, the power of the IP is undeniable, and it's going to be the biggest piece of entertainment to hit ever. um and if this was in any way released physically, like, if you know anything about physical games, you know that these games are shipped to whatever stores that they're going to be sold at, whether they be like Best Buys, Walmarts, GameStops, whatever. They get these things like weeks in advance. Um, and when you have essentially like gold in Fort Knox locked up back there in the back, somebody's gonna try it. Whether it's bribing one of the employees to give them a copy early by paying them thousands of dollars, or just straight up like going in the warehouses and just stealing it, because that's literally what people did for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And Assassin's Creed Shadows is like literally nowhere near the hype level of GTA 6. So I could just imagine this being like a mass conspiracy of just people just going into these warehouses trying to steal copies of GTA 6 to get them out there or scalp them, or spoil the story, or just be the first to tell you about what the story of GTA 6 is, because whoever is able to be the first to kind of tell the plot of GTA 6 is going to get the most out of it, right? So I can see why, once the rumor of Rockstar spending a billion or more on this IP, it kind of makes sense why they want to keep this under lock and key, right? They're trying to get the most return out of their investment. Um, so yeah, I understand why the no physical thing, but I've been of the idea, and I said this on Thrifty show earlier this week, that I thought it would be a good idea to just release physically, like a physical copy later. Like, just release it digitally initially, and then like a month down the line or whatever, release like a physical copy or a collector's edition or whatever they want to do, right? Um, that way, the physical people can still get their physical copy, and then everybody else can just, if they want to, buy it digitally initially at launch. But yeah, I've seen the whole thing recently. I don't know if they did the news either earlier today or yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
where apparently scalpers were buying up the quote unquote physical copies of GTA 6 and then reselling them on eBay for like 130,
Which apparently
$130,
people are
$150.
buying.
And people are buying it. And that's what makes me, I was just kind of scratching my head at that. And I'm just like, this is what makes me believe that most of these gamers, obviously don't know the situation, right? They're
Yeah.
really casual. They're not in the know, because there's no way that you are overpaying for an empty box.
FOMO, eh?
Essentially. No, it's not FOMO. I think people don't understand that there is no disc in the box. There are people who don't know the controversy and don't know that there is only a digital code inside the box. And I think that's gonna surprise a lot of people, especially the people who end up buying these scalped versions that they pay,
Right.
130 for when they finally get that copy of GTA 6 and open it up and there's no disc in it. I think there's gonna be a lot of upset and confused people because I don't like again, I don't think the majority of people know um about this situation, about there being no disc in the container for GTA 6. I think that's why I was like, that's I honestly kind of pegged that. I was like, when they announced that there wasn't going to be a disc in there, I was like, there's going to be so many people upset about that who haven't read the memo, haven't people who aren't online like us and know the situation with games and are like in the know. Like I had to tell my brother that there was no physical disc in there because he was talking about going on Amazon and pre-ordering the game, and I was like, just so you know, there's no disc, and he's like, wait, what? And the thing is, he saw all the other news, right? Because all he saw the announcement of the pre-orders going live, and obviously when he turned on his PS5, you see that big ass GTA 6 logo come on right on your main screen. So he knew about it, but he didn't know
Yeah.
everything about. He didn't know about all the things locked behind the $100 edition and everything like that. I had to explain that to him. And like I said, he didn't know about the disc not being in there because he buys physically for the most part. So he was a little upset about that, but he was like, whatever, I'll just buy it digitally. But yeah, as far as like the different versions of the game go, I see the controversy, people saying, they're locking content behind this digital deluxe edition and it's not fair. It's like the $80 version is essentially uh not the real game. I've seen that going around, and I'm just kind of scratching my head at people because I don't know. It just seems like we're not in 2026, and people act like deluxe and ultimate editions have never existed before Rockstar decided to do it.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because Rockstar and GTA 6 is again the biggest IP out. So if you complain or if you tweet about it, talk about it in any type of fashion, you're going to get clicks and views and all that kind of thing. So I think people are just blowing it up, out of proportion because of the stigma around GTA 6. Because I'm like, okay, what's being locked behind this deluxe edition are like, what, two mod shops for your car, like a tattoo shop, couple hair salons, um, some
And like some clothes or something.
clothing,
Yeah.
yeah, specific cars, like specific type of cars, and then I think one or maybe two side missions. Which, most of the time, when I see deluxe editions that have like exclusive missions, the missions are usually terrible. Like I'm gonna be real, they're not anything to write home about. They're just like, oh, it was cool, but it wasn't anything like, yeah, man, if you didn't experience that mission, you really missed out on an integral part of the game. Like, no, it's usually just like some little side stuff that they kind of slap together, just to give you something.
That brings me back to
It is a
So
Hogwarts
default
Legacy.
though.
yeah, the Hogwarts Legacy mission, like that was exclusive to PlayStation for like a year. I mean, it was all right.
It was
It
cool,
wasn't
but
anything.
it wasn't that serious.
wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't anything serious. People were so upset about it, and I was like, I'm gonna let you know right now, it really wasn't that big of a deal. Like
Yeah.
it was
Matter
a
of fact, it was glitched. So it was better in the beginning. It was
oh yeah,
glitched, and you could get stuck
yeah,
in it. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just like, I'm gonna let you know right now, like y'all not missing anything. It's fine.
So
Um,
my
Hmm.
understanding of this content too is that like the stores, like there's a very big deal about like it's gating stores. So my understanding is it's not the stores are just drop points where you go pick the stuff up.
Yeah,
So
basically.
when you hit that mission progression, like everything that's associated with that progression point is unlocked, and they're just located at these various locations. You just go get them. So it's not like it's not like what Forza Motorsport tried to do. The one I forget was Forza Motorsport 6 or 7, where like you would get a car pack, and then that just put the cars in the auto shop, and then you would still have to take in-game currency and go buy the car. These are things that like yeah you pay for them, but then you have them. It's just that you have to progress the game to a certain point to obtain them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
essentially.
and a lot of it is I think it I don't know if, again, I don't know if this is people grifting or if the people are just genuinely confused about the situation, but people act like it's all mod shops are locked unless you buy the deluxe edition, all hair salons are locked, all the tattoo parlors are locked, and I'm like, no, these are specific stores that are unique to the deluxe edition. You'll still be able to mod your car. You'll still be able to go clothes shopping. You'll still be able to get a haircut, get tattoos, all that kind of customization that GTA is known for. You'll still be able to do it. These are just specific shops that are just unique to the deluxe edition. And it's like people are like, no, no, you can't do anything. So if you had the base game, you just be walking around just doing nothing. And I'm like, no,
I've definitely
that's
seen that.
no. And again, I don't know if it's people being genuine or they're just trying to grift and get people upset about the situation, and like I said, gain views and clicks and shit.
I
But
mean,
I'm like,
all these NBA 2K gamers should be used to this by now.
you would
They
think, right?
paying
But
150 or
it's
200 for
just
the
so weird.
Michael Jordan edition.
I'm just like, I don't know, like y'all don't know how to read, or if y'all, like, again, y'all are just kind of playing on the people who refuse to actually do research for themselves, and which is most of Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, So I'm just laughing. I'm like, you don't have to get the $100 edition if you want. It just comes with a bunch of extra stuff like the Vice City pack and things like that. You'll still have, a great time with GTA 6 if you just get the $80 version. I promise you. If you like GTA, you're gonna experience it the same way, just not with a motherfucking faux hawk that you can get with with the Ultimate Edition. Okay, that's literally it. Um, yeah, so I don't got no any problem with the digital deluxe edition. That's the version I'm going to be getting. I don't care. It'll be interesting to see what the online situation is, because obviously we all know that Rockstar always releases their online after the single player. It's usually like a month or two after. So I don't know what they're going to do with this version. I don't know if it's just going to be an updated version of the current GTA Online, like they're going to do like some big update, or if it's going to be a completely new like online experience.
Yeah,
And the big question of what are they going to charge for it? Like, is it going to be free if you
that's
already own GTA,
that's the new
or are they
controversy.
going to,
Are they
yeah,
gonna
catch
charge
it and be
for
like
it?
40,
Yeah.
60 bucks, right? Oh, and PSA, there is one other part that kind of slimy on Rockstar's part, where if you get if I think it's either if you pre-order or if you get the Ultimate Edition. I can't remember. I think it might be if you pre-order. If you pre-order the game, you get a free month of GTA Plus online. The GTA, um their online thing, but it auto renews, so you got to make sure to cancel it, because it'll just take it out of your account if you don't cancel the GTA Online. So they'll charge you for the next month if you forget. The auto renew is on, so make sure once you start up the game, make sure you turn auto renew off, because you will be charged for the next month of GTA Plus. I thought that was funny because it was in the
Oh, I know what you're
yeah,
talking
it was
about.
in like the fine print of GTA
I
Plus
didn't know that was
of
part of it.
yeah, you get a free month of GTA Plus for pre-ordering the game, but it auto renews. So like that's how they get you. Like, oops, I forgot to unsubscribe. So here's another month for you. Um yeah, so for anybody who's pre-ordering it, just make sure you turn it off if you're not someone who uses GTA Plus. Um but yeah, other than that, the only thing I'm upset about is that we didn't get another trailer. That's really what I wanted out of the situation. I want to see the gameplay. I know I'm gonna love it regardless, but I'm just being greedy and I really want to see it. But Rockstar is pretty much known for showing gameplay like a couple months before release, so we probably won't see anything till like August or September, to be honest. Um, but yeah, my hype levels are through the roof. I figured, like, everybody kept saying, like, it's gonna get delayed again. I'm like, no, this is it, man. I'm telling you. the we finally got to the point where GTA 6, knock on wood, is actually happening. And uh I'm loving seeing PlayStation go full ham on the marketing. I'm pretty sure they paid absolute grip for this marketing, because there's just no way. Um, there's no way this was cheap. This probably cost them a good game. A good amount of what they would usually spend on their own devs to market GTA 6. And they've changed the color of the app, and they've taken over your home screen, and people are like, oh man, they don't do this for their first party. I'm like, well, yeah, because this is going to sell more than every one of their freaking first parties combined, and everybody else's. It's like, this is going to be the highest selling game of probably all time.
Not to
So
mention, this is at
absolutely.
a critical junction of price increases versus late game console sales. Like this is one of the later pushes in the game you could hope for. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you need
like
everybody to know.
PlayStation is going to make millions upon millions of dollars on GTA, not with just the initial purchases, but obviously online as well, with people buying card sharks and all that stuff spending money on GTA Online. So yes, of course, PlayStation's gonna spend a grip marketing this, because they want, if you have a product that is gonna sell, right, and it's available in multiple stores, you want people to buy that at your store. Like, you want this product to be synonymous with your store, right? You want people to think about GTA and think about PlayStation.
Yeah,
That's why
I need
their
to get a
whole slogan
PlayStation.
is right. That's why their whole slogan is best on PlayStation. That's why they've changed the color of their app. Like, it's all like that, you know, subliminal marketing. Like, oh, you see the colors, like, you think about GTA 6. Like, this is literally what this is all about. Like, it's about getting everybody and their mother to buy this game on PlayStation. And that's why, especially with the casuals who, again, don't all know about, they don't always see when the games are announced. So all the 90 plus million people who have a PlayStation, the moment they turn it on, they are just blasted in the face with that GTA 6. Like, just so you know, it's coming. You can pre-order right now. Here's the link. Taking over the entire PlayStation store, taking over your home screen. Buy it here now. Like, that's what PlayStation wants. They want every single one of those sales on their device, and that's probably why. I don't know how accurate the 6-to-1 thing is for IGN, but I honestly wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me at all that the majority of people are going to be playing this on the PlayStation 1, because PlayStation has the majority of the console sales, but also PlayStation's marketing works. Like, I mean, countless times there have been people, even people I know, that thought games were exclusive to PlayStation based on PlayStation's own marketing, just because of how PlayStation would market games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really think that, oh shit, this is, I need a PlayStation to play this, and it's just like, no, you don't. But PlayStation's marketing is just so, they go so hard on it, and they make sure that whenever they do market a game, that it's just all you see is the PlayStation logo. All you see is the PlayStation logo beside whatever the game is, whether it's GTA 6, whether it's Hogwarts Legacy, whether it's back when they had the Call of Duty marketing. Like, that's just all like, here's the game, here's PlayStation, buy it there, because that's what you need, because that works on casuals, because they don't know
Yeah,
any better.
Hogwarts
They
Legacy,
just
same thing.
Yeah, that's why it was like the majority sold on PlayStation. But I think I think it works. It'll work very well. I'm interested to see what the sales are going to be like, especially, again, with the pricing right now situation. We saw Xbox just announced that their prices are going up. So again, it'll be only a matter of time before PlayStation does it again. Um, so I'm just kind of hoping that they hold off, that they
Yeah,
try to hold off
that's the
until
smart
GTA
play.
6, because that will be the smart play. Just, if you can, hold off until GTA 6 launches, bro. It'd be even better if they could get some Black Friday deals, but I don't know with this economy right now if they'll be able to do any kind of hardware, because even with Days of Play this year,
I
they
mean,
didn't
there's
discount.
already some pretty good
Um,
deals. Like there's one being sold now
yeah,
from
yeah,
Walmart
on
for
their
5.
used things, but I was talking more about their, you know, the new,
Oh
fresh
no,
out
this
the.
is new on Walmart right now
Oh,
for
okay.
574. So yeah,
Okay. I
I
mean,
saw
that's
it
not bad, I
earlier.
guess.
Yeah, after PlayStation Xbox got the price hike, PlayStation had a discount for 150. I think it's iffy in the sense of I think it was on Amazon or something like that. But you still could do it for 150 discount.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
I agree.
Hopefully they'll be able to do it Black Friday. I
The
don't
key is to
know.
get it around the game. So yeah, I agree. I mean, I
Yeah.
just think the supply issue is going to be a thing too, which we talked about. And now
Yeah.
retailers are alluding to the same problem: is that a bunch of people are going to panic. In the end, they're going to be late to the party and be like, "I can't find a PS5."
Yeah. I know PlayStation has a lot better deals when it comes to like the chips and with the whole shortage thing. They are allocated a lot more than Xbox
Oh, absolutely.
is, simply because one, they have a better partnership with a lot of these, and obviously they sell more, so they're able to get better deals. And I think that PlayStation buys things yearly versus like Xbox, they buy their chips like quarterly or some shit, which is why they're always out,
Yeah, pretty
because it's
much.
Microsoft and they don't fucking think ahead. But um it'd be interesting to see how much they allocated, how much stock PlayStation has, because obviously, again, if you're spending this much money on marketing a game, you're gonna want to be able to sell your console as well, right? Because again, the point of this marketing is to get people to play it on your device. So you want people to be able to buy your device that haven't purchased it yet. So hopefully PlayStation has planned ahead and are able to allocate enough to, enough supply to meet demand. Um, but hopefully the people who haven't upgraded yet, and like if they do want a PS5, hopefully they're not going to be waiting to the last minute to do it, because I would
I
advise
hope not.
not to do it, especially now these days. Look, if you want a PS5 for GTA 6 or even an Xbox, whatever, you need to buy it now. Okay, prices aren't going down. There's no waiting to see if, oh, there'll be a discount later. No. If anything, shit'll just keep going up. So just get it now if you can, or upgrade, or whatever you want to do. If you're trying to upgrade to the pro, do it now. Don't wait to the point where everything's out of stock or things are twice as expensive. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to play this game. I'm gonna be putting hundreds of hours into this game. So yeah, all I need is another trailer, gameplay trailer to hold me over, because I really want to see what the innovation for GTA 6 is. Right, we all know Rockstar always pushes the envelope with each of their games when it comes to you know, uh, like the NPC and world building and just gameplay. What I just want to see what they've innovated with GTA 6. What's the next bar that once Rockstar releases a game, every other game tries to kind of emulate what they've what they've achieved in this game. So I'm really excited to see what's going to be the next step in quote unquote evolution for the open world genre that everybody else is going to be trying to kind of emulate. But yeah, can't wait.
Sorry, my bad. Uh, sorry. Fox was talking to me on the side because uh, she's been a bad girl on Amazon during Prime Day, so she picked up an extra shift. So she was telling me that she picked up a shift for tonight to try and make up for being bad on Prime Day. Um, but yeah, to your point as well, right? About you know, you want this to be synonymous with your system and whatnot, and the price hikes for Xbox, obviously being a factor. I agree. Something Logic said the other night on his solo show, which was great, by the way. Um, you said, what do you think the effect is going to be of the Xbox price hike? Are people going to run out and buy Xboxes, or are people going to run out and buy PlayStations? And he's like, I think people are going to run out and buy PlayStations. And I was like, yes.
Oh, also the other question is, what is the performance going to be like on the pro? That's what I
Yes.
really want to know.
Yes.
That we've gotten it is PS5 Pro enhanced. I mean, we all knew it was going to be, but the question is, what does that mean? Like, is that just fidelity? Is that just like with ray tracing and things like that, or are we gonna get the eluding 60 FPS?
Right.
Is that gonna happen? I don't know, man. I just don't know.
I mean,
I mean,
go ahead.
what it should mean at a minimum, just by like technical specification and definition, like a thing that should be factually true, is at a minimum it will look better because it will have a higher internal resolution, right? So that's like
Right.
Agreed.
the baseline minimum thing that Pisser, as Slow Mo calls it, does is sets a higher internal resolution so that like you get a higher fidelity representation of 4K because it's not faking as many, because you don't get as many fake pixels, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. Yeah, the
Uh,
PSSR is goaded. So,
yeah.
oh, and Xbox has
2.0
officially
has been
started
great.
promoting GTA 6 on their home screen. Yay, they got permission.
Oh man, did they really? I see
Yeah.
the fake marketing that Xbox guys were making up was killing me. I was like, what? I was
Oh
like, who
yeah,
made this?
you love that the free promotion that they're trying to do for Xbox right now is very interesting.
Yeah, I never understand being invested that far. Like I don't know, but people do what they want with their free time. Um, but yeah, Weeb. What I don't again I don't know everybody's excitement level for all these things, so I'm always questioning. Like people always think that we know all the games we're all interested in, but GTA is one that I mean obviously I knew Morgan was really interested in, but Weeb, are you day one? Are you getting the standard or the ultimate, or are you just like I don't care about GTA, I don't care about this controversy? Like where are you standing here?
Um, both. No,
Weeb
I,
said, "Look, man, I just buy
no,
video games, bro."
yeah, yeah. No, look, um, I've said before, like I'm not the biggest GTA fan. Did enjoy 5. I hated 4.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, 6 looks to be shaping up to be great. Like I'm definitely curious about it.
Yeah.
Um, the whole we're releasing a physical version with no disc. Like yeah, that's just bullshit. And I'm not buying the yeah, we're afraid people are gonna leak it. Like yeah, that's the problem with every game. Um, who cares? Like people are not gonna not buy the game because somebody leaked the story. That's not why people play the game. The people are not gonna miss this out just because somebody leaked it. So that's bullshit. I think it probably more has to do with them, yeah, pushing all digital, trying to maximize. Uh, pardon me, maximize their revenue because yeah, there's no disc, then nobody can resell the game, and they're cutting out the second market basically. That everybody has to keep on rebuying the game, and it worked for GTA 5 in a sense that people kept rebuying the game because of the V Bucks. I'm probably not seems to be. I'm not sure if I've checked the entire list of things you're gonna get, but I would assume that probably that's not going to be the case for 6. So they're finding different ways to basically prevent people from yeah, you know selling their game and somebody else making money off of it without yeah, them getting their cut. So yeah, it's bullshit. Like as a enjoys physical games, like I, you know, that definitely gave me some time to pause. There were some rumors that they might have come with a physical version, and then it was debunked again. So I don't know. Like, if I knew for fact that there was a physical version coming, I like if they say announced, hey, yeah, it's coming in December, I might legit wait for it because I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna if I have the choice between actually owning the game and buying a license, and I only have to wait a month, like yeah, I'm good. Like I'm not that big of a fan of GTA
Yeah,
to
you're
not.
more like the physical, so I get that.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like we're shy of any other games we could play in the meantime. So it's just a matter of shifting priorities.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
out here sweating bullets with all these games.
yeah, and look, I get it. You know, if you're yeah, like Morgan, if you're a huge fan, then definitely you're not gonna wait. So you're gonna just buy whatever version is available, and pardon me,
No,
and
all
that's
good.
fine. Um, so yeah, I get that. Like, you know, if it's like, you know, like Stranger in Heaven, but I'm really looking forward to, like, if they said yes, it's digital only, I would still get it because I'm just a huge fan of the studio, and that game I'm looking forward to uh, the
We
most.
all admit we got our studios where we're like, look, I'm playing this game, rain, sleet, or snow. Like it doesn't matter.
True, and I mean there's uh, I mean, you can stand on principle, and then there's just, you know, but yeah, I do like nice things. I do like the thing that I'm most excited for. Their allowances, we can still criticize, but the show allowances we give, you know, studios and things that we really like, because yeah, we're not gonna miss out just because of yeah, a principal position we have, and it's fair. You know, that's kind of what they say, but you know, trying to fix the world, like it starts small. Like it's not like just because you're not doing it with everything that you're still, you know, buying a phone that's made by exploiting, I don't know, child labor or something. Doesn't mean you can do recycling. You know, it is like
Hmm.
yeah, they're always it's a very easy pitfall to just say, yeah, okay, then I don't do anything, and then you deprive yourself from the joy of gaming, and then you're like, okay, like what's the point then? Why am I taking a principled stance in something, and then I'm basically not enjoying it anymore because I'm just not buying anything that doesn't meet my absolute threshold, you know. I mean, like that. That. There's so many things. Like, I know that there was a I think Lost Judgment that had like a higher like move set locked behind the deluxe edition. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty shitty they're doing that, but you know, I'm still gonna get it, and I'm still gonna get the deluxe edition because I'm enjoying it that much. And the thing is, like, I'm okay with that, especially considering that that's, you know, a studio that's making games I love, and they never were like, they don't, even though they were compared to GTA, they never sold anywhere close to that amount.
Hmm.
They were just happy that they probably made a, you know, modest profit, and then they could use to fund the next game. And I'm good with that, and I'm fine with giving them a little extra just to make sure that, yeah, well, I know I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna influence that, but I'm okay with them being a bit more cheeky in that regard to yeah, get that money. And I think with GTA, like, yeah, you know, that's gonna be a given. Is gonna be the biggest game ever, so this it's gonna do gangbusters. But yeah, if the rumors are true, of you know, which is, you know, very conceivable that it's probably the most expensive game ever made, considering how long it has been in development and how many people work at Rockstar, and probably how you know how well paid they are considering the success of Five. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course they have to find ways to make that money back as quickly as possible. And yeah, that's where you get this deluxe edition, which is fine. Like, the deluxe edition is never an issue in the sense that, you know, if you want it, you know, get it. If you don't care, like Morgan said, like, you're still gonna have that base experience. It's not like you're really missing out on anything.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, if you're, you know, want it all, you know, you have that option, right? And yes, yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, because it doesn't have you know, a disc in the box, I don't really have an incentive to get the physical version, because I would basically be paying for a plastic box. Like, if it had a steel book, maybe, but like, they're so I'll probably just get it digitally, because yeah, uh, uh, I think the only I guess benefit is that I can probably save $5 or something, because I see a lot of retailers giving a discount, because they kind of. But that the funny thing is, I'm seeing a lot of them doing that even those that usually don't do it because they know that right now there's no incentive for anybody to actually order via them, because you're just getting the digital code, which is kind of I guess where they're kind of screwed over the retailers, because they're like, yeah, why do we need to have this in stock? There's some outlets like Video Game Plus, I think, that took a principle stance. They said like, yeah, we're not selling it because we only sell games that actually are physical, that actually have a disc. In hindsight, I would say that despite the fact that it's going to be the biggest game ever, and there's this yeah, like Morgan point out, like a lot of people don't understand there is not a disc in that physical version.
Yeah.
And fall for the whole scalper trick. And it's kind of, I think there's a part of it that's deliberate, because you saw the statement of I don't know, was it a Rockstar help desk or whatever. So somebody asked, or community support asked a question, yeah, is there a physical version coming? And they really give like sort of this very sort of open for interpretation, obtuse answer, where people initially say, oh yeah, so that means it is coming, and then I was like, no, it doesn't mean it's coming. They're just referring to the physical version, as in the box with the download code. Yeah, I mean, you can interpret it either way, and I
eBay
think
listings are very slick like that. So
yeah,
yeah.
I know they were doing it deliberately, because that keeps people's hope up. But on the other hand, it also makes it confusing, because anybody who is not us, who doesn't know, that doesn't take the extra mile to know, to keep informed. And even for us, like it's confusing, because we don't know exactly what they mean with that. And the average gamer is like, oh, so yeah, oh, so there is a physical version. Oh, so they're not gonna look further and think about it. They're just gonna assume, okay, yeah, so I'm just gonna buy the box and there's a disc in there, and then turns out there isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's but in that sense, that's the only saving grace, I guess, the retailers have, where there's like, okay, people probably don't understand that there's no disc in there, and
Yeah,
they'll
I think
uh,
GameStop or somebody will definitely
yeah,
inform people when making the purchase, just to cover themselves.
yeah, sure, but on the other hand, like yeah, that's GameStop. But if you're going to Walmart or whatever, where you guys
Oh yeah,
sell your game,
they're paying you no mind. Like, here you go.
yeah, they're not gonna, they don't even know. So that how the hell are they gonna inform you? So um, but yeah, and they're good with people not knowing, because obviously otherwise they might have an incentive not to buy it, because yeah, the only thing you're buying is literally a piece of plastic. Um, Plus, the risk you have, like with if you order it, if it gets delayed, then so that's kind of where my position is right now. I probably won't get the physical version. I'll probably just directly go to PSN store. Then you're guaranteed to have a day one. The
Yeah.
only thing, and I'll give me some time if they do. Like, I don't have to pre-order now, right? Because it's as long as I get it before a couple days before the game launch, so I can pre-download it. That's it. So for me, it's fine. I can just sit on it, and maybe if they in the meantime, I know the chances are pretty much zero, but then I'll say, hey, yeah, we're gonna release an actual disc version a month later, then I might reconsider. Um, but other than that, like, yeah, probably we'll get it. Yeah, day one digital. Then for we're gonna break my rule, if well, rather, there is no rule to break, because there is no physical version
True. True.
anyway. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I have plenty of digital games. Just that if I have the option, I prefer to get it, physically, unless there's like a very steep discount going on that I just can't say no to, or it's like such a small game. Or like, yeah, there's probably going to be a limited run version of this, and they're gonna they're gonna make they're gonna overcharge you for that. Like, yeah, it's not worth it. It's like a game I can finish in one sitting in one night, and that's it. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's for me the only sort of issue I have. I think I'm not buying all the stuff with they had no choice or whatever. Like they just did because they thought they could get away with it, and they get away with it because it's GTA. Um, the pricing and stuff, like, yeah, I mean that's a given. That's and again, I'm not feeling like they're somehow setting a new precedent or whatever, because it's just it's GTA. Like nobody is gonna, if you're gonna follow that and you're gonna set the same price point with your game, like people gonna laugh you because who you think you are, GTA. So no, you're not gonna it's yeah, again, it's a phenomenon. It's the exception. So nobody should mirror or to take GTA as your example, as your allowance for doing whatever they're doing, that you're are able to get away with that. Like if anybody else releases their next game in a box with a digital code, yeah, don't expect people to let you get away with it as easily as they do with GTA. It's
Agreed.
just you're not that. You're not GTA. So yeah, um, PlayStation going full on with the marketing. Yeah, was again a given, but they're. I mean, it's so insane how well they're playing on only had the biggest game, the biggest event in gaming, in this entire generation. They're like, yeah, they're gonna do very well, with when that game releases, with their console sales, with the game sales, and yeah, the perception of people thinking that is actually PlayStation exclusive, without them actually, have to say it. And Xbox, of course, shooting themselves in the foot by raising their prices. That where they probably would have done well to
Yeah, I think they would
uh,
have done better without that
drop
rate price.
prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like it's for a combination of just like, yeah, we're not gonna make it, are we? And probably tone deaf. I don't know. It seems weird if that you're in a even if you are not a gamer or not familiar with the industry. You should know what GTA is. You should know that that's like, you have to anticipate it. Like, you have these fanboys making free advertising for you. Like, you don't even have to pay Alan Greenberg or whatever
Yeah,
for
I'm
for
not
his.
gonna lie. That's a new one for me. Free marketing from the fan base, like
Yeah,
specifically, not fan art, not any of
yeah,
that, but like fake marketing. I was like,
yeah.
what?
It's great.
I
It
mean, they're down bad. Like, remember, they were fed lies about next new Xbox, new person, new this, new that, and they get hit with the reality that, yeah, no, it's gonna always be the same Xbox, the same tone deaf Xbox, the way they raise their prices. Literally at the same day or one day after GTA 5, 6, what you call it, pre-orders what became live. Like, at some point, you gotta ask yourself, is someone at Microsoft sabotaging them, or are they that incompetent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a
Yes.
combination of the fact that they made
The
that.
answer is yes, Omar.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing, right? They basically said it, right? We made a bunch of issues. We made a bunch of moves prior that put us in the position we're in, which, like you said, is incompetent. Like, you didn't see none of this
But they
coming.
don't know how to get out of it, though.
No. It's like, oh yeah, we made a
But
couple
but
of bad moves in the past, and why stop there?
Why stop
but
there?
bad move is one thing. Tone deaf is something else completely.
Yeah, but from a
But
logistical standpoint, right? if you made a bad move from a logistics standpoint. This is the thing. This is again why I keep telling y'all got to watch Logic show. Logic talks about this stuff a lot, and this is what Asha Sharma talked about when she was on stage, and she said basically there's a bunch of things that happened before I took over logistics wise about how we basically acquired parts for our systems based on what we sell, and because we made those choices, we're always the one that's got to raise our prices first. That's a logistics issue, and you can't fix it because the only way that you would fix that on the consumer side is you're going to now have to subsidize because of all the other hardware issues going on. So that's the issue they're running into.
Yes,
It's
but
a
that
but it's
that doesn't mean that this is the best move to make, because if
Oh
you're
yeah, absolutely not.
doing this right now, like I get the logic behind it, but again, it's very short term thinking. It's very like, okay, she has a target, she has an assignment. Um, it and that assignment is not do what's best for Xbox. It's you know uh, meeting at the bottom line. Hitting those profit margins. And again, like I know how bad they did, how low, like the fact that they could have just put that money in the bank. That's how bad it is. But in the end, like yeah, if you want to give it a shot, if you want to, and again, it's you know very sort of hopium, because in the end, like even indeed if they did you know, uh, do anything to market a GTA, or ride that wave, most people are just gonna buy them PlayStation. You know that's how it is, because they're the market leader. It's associated with the brand. They have the marketing right. So you know it's pretty much done. Like yeah, any if they would spend any money on marketing it, it would be just wasted effort, and probably just help PlayStation, because people would just buy it on PlayStation. Which is, oh yeah, it's GTA. Oh yeah, PlayStation. Yeah, and the fact that they trained everybody to not buy games, and subscribe to the subscription service, and just wait and hope that it will ever come there. So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of the fucked situation they're in. So it is. Yeah, the Kobayashi Maru, basically, it's sort of a no-win scenario. But um, yeah, you can either not do anything, and just focus on maximizing those profit margins, as long as they're still there.
Yeah, if there's a
Um,
profit to be made, at least.
yeah, exactly. As long as you still have still have consumers, still have people who are buying your stuff, and subscribing to your stuff. It's basically like, yeah, they're in that harvesting phase of any product life cycle, and that is a sad state of affairs, because it's basically this seems to be like their entire vision for Xbox as a product, where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna yeah, we need to recoup investments. We and on the other hand, like we need to maximize, get what we can still and then can it, then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox is gone as a console. It's we're gonna focus on third party publishing, because that's kind of thing. It does feel like any move she's making, or they're making, is more like, yeah, divest it as painlessly as possible, um, while at the same time keep them hooked, so they will still spend their money until they figure out, yeah, there is no future here. Like this is just it's putting out the pasture, and we know it, they know it. We're just not going to tell our fans, or at least we're going to give them a chance to yeah to we'll give them hopium that they're still sort of attached with one, with one limb, uh, that they sort of feel like there's light in the tunnel, but there's not. They know there's, and never go to the light in the tunnel, because you know what happens then. But yeah, it's yeah, it is in the end stupid, but also predictable. It's yeah, I get it, but also like if you really were there to save Xbox, you probably would at least try, and it doesn't look like they're trying, and that says enough for me, and you could say enough for everybody else, and yeah, and that's it because I now I need a drink.
No, you're good. Well, I mean, we've kind of spoke on the GTA topic and the next topic, so we'll he kind of doubled up, which is fine because he's gonna get something to drink now. Omar, what's your opinions on the whole thing with GTA?
Have Logic first talk about the other topic first, and I can give my opinion on both at the same time.
I was gonna say because you want to talk about both at the same time because we did. I knew it. I knew you were coming with that.
We started it.
No, you started it, and then you got Weeb started.
No, we did.
Oh man, no. Logic, yeah. Obviously coinciding with the GTA, upcoming. We obviously had the Xbox price hikes. In this critical window, for both consoles, honestly. And then the announcement of the price hikes, with Asha Sharma in charge. The great savior or whatever they're calling her on Twitter right now. Miss Giveaway Xboxes, Asha Oprah, whatever. I don't know. She's got like 100 nicknames already. Um, Amid all this and seeing basically the reaction that Xbox has put out with these price hikes, what's your take on what the plan is as far as Xbox goes?
You twisted the knife there at the last second with making the question.
Hey, they did it, not you, not him.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing it. Microsoft doing it.
Well,
I
Somebody
did
made
kind
it,
of set you up.
and it is a good person.
Well, it started off sounding like, "What's your take?" And that I was prepared for. And then you said on what the plan is. Like, if anybody knows, please, if anyone knows what the plan is, please, someone tell me, because I have no idea what the plan is. I mean, already she said the plan is the plan until it's not the plan.
Until
So I
it's
guess that
not
means there
the
is no plan.
Hey.
So, like, I mean, I mean, I think Weeb said kind of said it, about when he commented all about like why would you do this? It's not the smart. And I just think that what the point they're at is they don't give a crap about selling hardware.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not to like total like, but to play devil's advocate, right? Not to totally topple his argument. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm like, so what if they didn't raise prices? They weren't going to sell any consoles anyway.
They weren't selling anyway, yeah.
So
Yes, they were. They were selling a little bit. I will wait for my turn. Sorry about that.
not according to NPD. It was the worst month of sales ever in the history
Ever.
of Xbox, and that's after they knocked prices down on Game Pass, with Jez Corden running around claiming, and I said it was a lie when he said it,
Mhm.
claiming that people were DMing him that they were going out and buying Xboxes because the Game Pass price had come down.
Yeah, he said
Well,
they
the NPD
couldn't,
data-
they couldn't find them. They couldn't find none.
You know,
Yeah.
Xbox defense force. You know, he's a liar.
So the MPD data refutes that. Matthew Ball, another lie. Graduate of the Xbox Executive Liar Boot Camp in the fastest record time ever. 24 hours, within 24 hours of being hired, he's already gotten through the Xbox Liars Boot Camp, claiming that they can't make Xboxes fast enough to meet demand. I'm like, yeah, because you're being charged an arm and a leg to build them. Because when you ask Foxconn to give you a run of Xboxes, they ask you, what pipe have you been smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why would I not use that manufacturing capacity to build PlayStations or iPads or iPhone or whatever? So sure, I'll make you a run of Xboxes. I'll charge you $1 million per Xbox. Right? I mean, that's what they're facing. So, like, it's 6 or 1 half dozen the other. They can raise prices. They cannot raise prices. Who cares? Like, fine, raise it to $800 at least for the one Xbox you sell. At least you're going to get $800 for it.
Right.
Like, I think they just have a corporate mandate where, Amy Hood is saying you're not going to lose money. You're not going to subsidize. And I think this is the crazy thing to me. And I think she's making them pay for the shots that they're taking. You want to do exclusives? Fine. You can do one per year. You're going to lose money. So in return for me bankrolling you doing exclusives, you're going to raise the price on Xboxes. You want to cut the price on Game Pass? Fine. You're going to lose money cutting the price on Game Pass, but I tell you what you're going to do, you're going to raise the price on Xboxes.
But
you're going to
that feels like actively sabotage, though.
It seems like actively what?
Sabotage.
I don't disagree. Like, but when you are stuck between,
I
no, I mean, I don't.
Sabotaging themselves. There was someone sabotaging, but
I don't.
If what you're saying is true, that's mindfuckery at its finest.
I don't think it's. I know. I don't literally think it's active sabotage. I think it is out of a host of shitty choices that you have. You are trying to make the least shitty cherry pick choices you can at any moment in time. But as you're making them, you honestly have no idea whether the next shitty choice you're going to have to make is going to be less shitty or more shitty than the one that you're making today.
True.
So it's just a matter of being stuck between Scylla and Charybdis, a rock and a hard place. There's no good outs. This is why the whole notion of this is the turnaround of Xbox is ludicrous. How? Please explain to me how. We're going to turn around by doing exclusives. That is a 7-year bet.
And then raising the prices. Such a turnaround.
Right. So it's like for every one thing you do that you could argue is a positive, and when you're arguing that it's a positive, it's a totally ludicrous argument that you're making, right? We're gonna return to Xbox by doing exclusives. Then you turn right around and you raise the prices because you have to. Well, nobody's gonna buy your Xbox for $800 just to play Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution, which now, based on the status of the studios and what's going on, right, with your 3% profit margin, like, again, I go back to how serious a thing that is. Like, an understanding of, again, for every dollar of things that you sell, the cost of goods sold that you're paying to build that thing, you are able to pocket 3 cents. You are essentially running a $24 billion business at cost. Pocketing 3 cents for everything it takes you to build. You are at the point where it's like, why would I build anything? To keep 3 pennies for every dollar that I sell? What sense does that make?
No.
And like, there's got to be shareholders and people in the C-suite and people in the boardroom saying, why are we doing this? Like, this makes no sense. Like, literally, you could make, and I'll give Josh Ayers credit for this, literally, you could make more money by putting your money in a high-yield savings account or buying a bond. You could actually make more money buying U.S. Treasury bonds and waiting 10 years for them to mature. So unless there's like, and there's a potential that there's goodness in here somewhere, that like maybe the data that you're collecting is something you could turn around and like use and multiply the earnings from that in your other business ventures, or there's some knock-on effect with a corporate adjacency. I have no idea, but like when you raise prices at this point in the game, what I've said is, like, why would you make that choice rather than just deciding to shut it down? Why would you make that choice rather than just deciding to get out of hardware? Quite honestly, if we were at this point, there's two major things that I like actually have a significant problem with the choices being made out of, again, the array of shitty choices that they have available to them. In 2026, it is madness to me, sheer insanity, that there is still a parity clause between the Series S and the Series X.
Agreed.
That makes no sense. No sense.
They're never gonna rid of. If Baldur's Gate 3 didn't make them get rid of it, if Wukong didn't make them get rid of it, they're never gonna get rid of that. Heck, their first party output is suffering because of it, and they created this and they have to learn it. They have no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, that again, that is madness. That is literally you holding a wolf by its head, right? And never letting go of it for fear that it's going to eat you, which makes no sense, right? When you have the option to just shoot the wolf in the head. Like, it's a choice. Like, again, I can't remember what the name of the movie is about the guys who started WeWork. Fear is a choice.
Yeah.
Like, you're making bold choices now, right? And crazy moves now. Like, the fact that thing exists, and I mean, it existed, it can be overridden clearly, but I mean, how was it overridden the last time? Literally, it was overridden because Phil Spencer and the developers of Baldur's Gate were physically co-located in the same space, right? And had a sidebar meeting in a hotel room. again, that is madness. That's what it takes to override that thing, and for that rule to exist when it makes absolutely no sense. The second thing that I would say is at this point, and again, I'll say it first, and then I'll mark my caveat of backing off of it. I would at this point go down to one SKU, because if it's costing me an arm and a leg to get somebody to make right, to free up to give me a run in the midst of everything else that they're trying to build, and so I'm being charged way more than they charge Sony to build a PlayStation or Apple to build an iPhone or whatever. That cost is compounded by the additional complexity of making multiple form factors, multiple specs. And at this point, I would pick one console or the other, and I would say, look, this is all that we're going to make. We're not selling any more of this thing anyway, and so we're just going to pick one, and we're going to make that one for the remainder of the generation. Now, where I will back off of it is, I would say, stop making the Series S, because I'm looking at it from a developer standpoint. But quite honestly, I hear different things every day about which SKU has sold more. And I've heard it's 50-50. I've heard it's 2-1. I've heard it's 3-1. I've heard, that there's a certain state of being because there was a period of time where they weren't making Series X's at the beginning of the pandemic because they couldn't get all of the parts, right, sourced. So I don't know which one it is, but I would pick one, and I would say, we're barely selling any of these things at all. We're highly likely to not sell, right, like one of the SKUs. We're just going to make, for the remainder of the time that we're sticking with this thing, we're just going to pick one SKU. And at least there'll be some cost savings realized from that in terms of total outlay that you're making.
No, I agree. Yeah, they're in a bad spot, man. It's too bad they didn't wake up in 2013 to all these notions that they're having in 2026. You know, like I've listened to for years. Like we've said for years. Like I have listened to you and Brad talk about for years. I don't know what I just don't get it, man. I've never seen a fan base fight so hard not to wake up. Like it's like, again, if we were back even in 2015, we could have had some real conversations about this stuff and some real moves they could have made. But it's like they literally waited till the very last minute. And honestly, I'm kind of seeing this as like a fandom thing, or like certain fan bases. Like certain fan bases will just run something into the ground until it literally has nothing left. To me, right now, at least some of the fan base, not all of them, I feel like the Final Fantasy fan base is doing the same thing. Not all of them, mind you, but they're kind of mimicking the same thing. Like, I don't care what Square does. I don't care what happens. I'm gonna buy Final Fantasy. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, no matter what. And I'm like, to me, that is crazy to hear somebody say, like, you are a fan no matter what happens. And it's like, you're supposed to be a fan because it was great, because they made amazing titles that you really liked. You know, again, it's the same way for me for PlayStation. I'm like, look, if what have you done for me lately is always how I treat PlayStation. If they get caught slipping, I'm on their neck. Like, so I'm just like, I don't understand this whole, like, no matter what may come, I'm a super fan. And I'm like, that's crazy to me, because it's like, don't you want this to continue? Don't you want it to continue to be great? So yeah, that definitely drives me crazy. But yeah, Omar, you wanted to talk about both. So obviously the GTA situation coinciding with Xbox's price hike. What are your opinions on this?
Yeah, so the crazy part is I don't know how this works. I was
Oh, you're botting.
anticipating.
I know. Soon as you started, it immediately started botting. Oh, and you're gone. I knew that was gonna happen. I've never seen that symbol in my life in Discord. I don't even know what that is.
Am I good?
You sound okay for a moment, but probably when you start talking. But go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay. So the crazy part is this was so I was anticipating for it to be 90 euro, but it's not. It's 80
Yep, you're
euro.
botting again.
Ah, just move on.
Uh,
If if there is a topic, if I can jump in back, I will
okay.
cut you all off and talk
I.
about the tiger all over again.
All right. Yeah, I
So,
figured.
I
I
mean,
knew I was gonna do that. Go ahead.
the last two things I wanted to add to this is
Mm-hmm.
when again going back to this notion of a turnaround. Like I don't know in how many different walks of life I have been taught like when the tide of battle turns, right? You pick an escape vector and boogie out, right? Like pick a plan, drink your poison, right? Curl up in the fetal position, get to where you need to go and go. And so again, there's been so many opportunities, and this is going to be the interesting look back at the history of this case study. There have been so many opportunities to give up the ghost, right? Pick an escape route and go and live to fight another day. And they
Me?
keep not taking it. They keep letting that door get closed. They keep, quite frankly, they see the escape route, they see the way out, and they close the door themselves, right? And I don't get it. I'm like, again, this is yet another opportunity to say we're closing up shop. We have an opportunity here to be a very powerful publisher, to be stacked up against, like, in a day where Ubisoft is falling, when EA is about to get sold off to PIF. Rockstar is Rockstar, but we have an opportunity to be the biggest publisher on the landscape. Like, literally, their hardware business is earning them no money and is causing them to lose money. And despite that, they are the second largest revenue earner in the combined console and PC space, next to PlayStation. So let's just say hardware is doing nothing for them, is net zero, is actually a loss. If they cut off the valve on the hardware today, that would still put them at $24 billion ish as a publisher.
Yeah.
Right now, there might be some long-term effects from that, because how do you retain your 30 million Game Pass subscribers right into the next generation if you're not selling them hardware? That you got to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they've had this opportunity, and I don't think the fix to that is Project Helix, right?
No.
Like that's going to cause them to again lose subscribers and lose numbers. So that's the number one thing I wanted to add. And then the second thing is, like, this is just awfully painful for those of us who pay attention to the business side of the space. Just watching this, period of hospice, the slow dying, wheezing, gaping chest wound of a death. When I'm like you could have just just put the dog down, man. like the dog doesn't need to suffer. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, okay.
Go.
Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Give it a shot.
I'm using my mobile phone, my mobile hotspot right now. So
Okay.
I'll try to be as quick about it as
Go for it.
first of all, I assumed that it was going to be 90 euro, since it's going to be $80, but no, it's 80 euro. So I'm not sure how to explain that if they just wanted to be 80, no matter which uh, region you are in the world. So that's number one. Number two, look, you guys know I don't care about Raptor like that. But my issue is always slippery slope. Nintendo tried it and they failed with the $80. Now Raptor is doing it, and I feel that was gonna stick, sadly. Between that and I I didn't understand it quite, if what they have locked behind the $100 edition is is it unlockable or not in the full game?
I mean, it's not an unlock thing. It's you either got it or
I know
you
it's at
don't.
a tool shop. It's a
Yeah.
shop, but but will you still be able to make use of it in the full game? After a while,
No,
like
no,
after you
you
play the
need
game.
to, you either got it or you don't. It's a deluxe edition thing, like every other
Yeah,
game.
that's fucked up though. That's legit fucked up. Like I'm cool with locking something, giving it early access for content, even
I
a
mean,
story content
my
or
only thing with that, I'm not gonna vilify them for doing something that everybody else has been doing for like the past thing. Like I'm literally buying Ace Combat's like top tier edition. There are literal planes you can't even fly if you don't have that edition. Like it's ridiculous, but I love Ace Combat, so I'm buying it. Like I mean, so
yeah, but that
I
doesn't
can't
change the fact
vilify
that
them
you
for
can
it and
do
no
it
one
on
else.
them.
I know.
But
I'm just
look
telling you
at this.
that's the
Look,
course that's been a thing in
yeah.
every
So
other thing. But yeah, go ahead.
reality. Let's keep to buck reality. Boycott athletes in the game industry don't seem to work. Every time people say we gotta boycott this company, the company end up making more money. I'm looking at Hogwarts Legacy. I'm looking at any other game that people say, "Oh, we're gonna boycott it," and so boycotting GTA, it's absolutely not happening. At the end of the day, people are gonna buy it. Even people like us that are absolutely not a fan of the practices. So we can have an issue with their practices and still just admit, yeah, we're gonna buy it. Yeah, we want the game, but it's still a shitty practice to be doing. That's the second thing. So my favorite legit on the whole, what you call it, $80. I have the feeling we're gonna step to the $80 at next gen, but Rockstar might have opened the floodgate earlier. Now, to the whole Xbox situation. Tone deaf, that's what I would call the only word, the first word that come, comes out of my mouth. Like, get this. You, so, you have clockwork resolution, which, let's give it a buck. It's a cool game, but it's not I must buy a console for it just to play it cool. So you have that game and you have Gears E-Day and you do them both now for the what minuscule Xbox consoles that you were selling. You you lost everyone now with the price hike, and you've been taking L for so long. Take this L, dude. Take it. Like, especially during literally the reveal of one of the biggest, if not the big, arguably the biggest game. Take your L. Don't raise the price. That's such a tone deaf um, decision making. And I'm like, what what next for Xbox then? I legit don't know. How long before they what you call it backtrack on exclusive? They just raised the price. They're not gonna sell consoles. So what's the point of um brainstorming exclusivity if you just killed the only solution for it, which is console sales? Yo, this is wild. Xbox be wilding like that. But yeah, that's it for me. I will try to get to the other net and see if it works. If it doesn't work, fuck it.
Yeah, all good. Um, yeah, no, Wara came in the chat, and yeah, I agree, Wara. Like I said, that's what I was saying earlier. I was like, it's not new, and like, yes, GTA is probably the biggest video game to launch in this entire generation, but it's not new. Like, a ton of games. Like, I mean, if anything, they're honestly being nice about it. It only being $100, because, like I said, as someone who is a massive Assassin's Creed fan, I have bought editions up to $130 that prior used to be $100, and Ubisoft just went up $10 each time because they knew they could. So it was $99, then it was $110, then it was $120, and it was $130. And I was like, I really questioned myself at that $130, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So, like, again, and there's content you're not gonna get, right? I'm a person, and I'll tell you, I've you guys have heard me say this before. I want it all. I want everything. One thing I hate is missing content, right? I don't like missing content, and like people know this, that drive, right? When you get the car without all the bells and whistles, you got them little blacked out slots in your, where the cool features go. You would have had heated seats, but you got the model that don't got it. I don't like that. I, I want everything. I want the ultimate edition. That is the current car I have. When I get the next car, I still want the ultimate edition. I don't want to pay ultimate prices, but I want the ultimate edition. Like, and trust me, everybody wants that. Every car I see around here is the platinum super duty AT4, top tier trail boss platinum, Harley Davidson hold my beer edition. Don't nobody out here want the regular version if they ain't got to get it. So trust me, everybody wants to be that person, whether they willing to pony up the money for it or not. That's what everybody wants to be. I ain't got, Escalade top tier edition money, but I'm just saying, I still see him driving around here, so somebody got that money. And like I said, everybody wants those features. Nobody wants those blacked out buttons in their car, and nobody wants to be missing content when they playing a game. Ultimately,
I
at
want
the
to
end of the
say
day.
something that I forgot to mention. I'm still
That sucks, because you went back on the other net and you were botting immediately.
okay. Oh well. Okay. Never mind. I'll just be a listener.
Yeah, you're good. Um, but yeah, in other news, I didn't. Morgan, I don't think you had anything to add. I saw you just got back in here, but we went over the Xbox thing while you were gone. So, did you have anything to add onto the Xbox information that we hadn't already talked about, or that you wanted to add?
Um,
The price hikes.
yeah, I mean, it just kind of reaffirms what I thought, that the exclusives that Xbox did, they weren't really to garner any new fans and, to get new console sales. They're more to keep the fans that they already have satiated, make sure that the fans that they have on console currently don't leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, the exclusives were like a lot. I could just tell from, the fever from the Xbox fanatics that this was kind of the last straw for a lot of them. Like, if she didn't announce some type of exclusivity with this Xbox Fan Fest, yeah, I think a lot of them would have just been like, you know what, that's it. I gave it a chance. She came in, said, she heard me, but then she didn't. So you know what, I'm out. And I think the whole Clockwork and Gears thing was essentially just to keep them happy, make sure that they don't leave, make sure that that recurring revenue, the little that they're getting from Xbox fans, that it doesn't stop,
Yeah.
that keeps going. And then, like I said, with these price hikes and everything like that, that just kind of confirms what I thought, that, yep, it was just for that. Because there's no way Gears is not enough of a game to be a system seller. Clockwork is certainly not enough of a game to be a system seller. Um, yeah, really don't know what the plan is. I think it's literally just, we're done with this generation, kind of like how they were with the Xbox One, where it was just like, we're kind of done with this and we're moving on to the series generation now, and hopefully that works out for us. But I think that's kind of the plan with this generation. They're just kind of done, and they're hoping that Helix is going to be, I guess, that fresh start. But again, Helix is just going to be just as expensive, if not more, right?
If
We
not
just saw the
more.
Steam Machine come out with the crazy prices that they have. Um, I don't see Helix being anything less than like $1,300. And I don't see casual gamers lining up, you know, pulling each other's hair out trying to get a freaking Helix. Um, but yeah, I kind of agree with Logic. I just think they're just kind of done with hardware at this point, and it's just about keeping the little bit of fan base that they have happy, so that they don't leave, because they still need them um, to buy these ultimate editions of Game Pass and things like that. So yeah, I don't really see any kind of way for Xbox to get out of this situation.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just think
either.
it's just kind of it is what it is
They playing a
at this
telltale game
point.
at this point. You want to cut
Yeah,
off your arm or you want to cut off your leg?
exactly. I mean, we have
Yeah.
Asha over here even saying that they're looking at new ways to produce Helix. Like it's not going to be what they thought it was going to be initially, right? Like
Yep.
who knows if it's still going to be a PC hybrid, like or if they're just going to go back to ordinary consoles now, or what, or if they're even going to have Steam, because now they're talking about, oh, well, it just may just be Xbox and the PC storefront from Xbox, and I'm just like, uh, I don't know how that's going to sell, but okay,
Yeah.
cool, I guess.
I mean,
Um,
or if they even come out with a new console. I mean, those two exclusives. I mean, it's the equivalent of why you put saltpeter in the food for Gen Pop.
make them a little bit more thirsty. Like, oh, you actually need a couple more drinks. Actually, one soda will not satiate you. Take another one. Um, yeah, I just like it just the timing of it. Asha coming out saying, "Oh yeah, the reason game is not doing well is because prices are just out of control. It's just too expensive for the average consumer." And then literally like 2 days later, "Oh yeah, console prices are gonna go back up, guys." I'm, they do this every single time, bro. Like I don't like they'll say something and then do their next action is a complete 180 from what they just said. Like Matt Booty coming out and saying, "Oh, we need these small studios because the small studios that grow into something bigger and move into those key franchises for Xbox and for other publishers." And then now they're, "Oh yeah, all the small studios we have, Ninja Theory, Compulsion, Double Fine, yeah, we're probably gonna get rid of those." I just I, this is why we have said forever that Xbox just needs to just shut up. Don't say anything. Stop make coming out and doing these interviews and making statements and feeling like you have to tell everybody every little step that you're taking, because when you tell them that you're about to take two steps right and then they saw all of a sudden that you take one step left, you look stupid. So like you said you were doing the opposite, bro. Like why are you doing something completely different? This is why you just don't tell people which way you're moving, because then they won't be disappointed. Like they'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's what they're doing. Okay, cool." But
Yeah.
because of the position Xbox is in, they feel like they have this need to let people know, right? But I guess when you're in the losing position, in order to kind of garner people and garner trust, you have to tell people what your next move is. But the problem is, again, like Logic said, and like Asha was saying, the plan is the plan until it's not the plan. So if you're consistently telling plans, but then the plans change, it just makes you look like y'all don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're just kind of scrambling to figure out what to do next. Um, and then with the statement Asha made a few weeks ago about the state of the industry and the pricing and everything like that, and how in next year, 2027, is supposed to be 5 times more expensive or something like that she said. Like, what's going to be the Series X in 2027? Is it going to be over $1,000 at that point? Like,
Yeah,
like I'm agreeing with
the
Logic. At some
fact that they
point,
cut
you
off
just
the 2
gotta,
terabyte.
yeah, is telling,
Yeah.
because they cut it off because they knew it would look bad because it would be more than the Pro
Yeah.
at that point, with
Next gen is stupid.
no increase in power or anything like that, just storage, and it'd be more than the PS5 Pro, which would be even worse. And you notice the way they announced the prices. They didn't even tell people what the new prices were. It was so bad that they just told people, "Oh, it'll be $150 more for the Series X and like $100 more for the Series S." They didn't tell people what the actual, like, "Oh, it's going to be 650 now and it's going to be 800 now." No, no, because they knew that how bad that would look. They seemed to take a little note from PlayStation. You know, when PlayStation has bad news, they just kind of put up a blog post and they don't actually tweet what it
Yeah.
and Xbox, instead of just saying what it was, they kind of put a blog post. The increase in Xbox pricing, and it was just like a blog post that didn't tell the actual final price. Just, oh, we're adjusting it to 150, and oh, by the way, would you like to go in debt to buy a console? Here's a way to get Klarna
Financing.
and yeah, finance your console today. Like, I was just like, excuse you? Like, are we serious right now? Like, yo, like, what are we doing right now? Like, hello?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. They
Just
kind of got
I just don't
sidestepped.
understand.
They kind of got sidestepped by all the other places though. So like that's the problem with Twitter. So they did that BS, and then Discussion Film and Culture Crave and Charlie Intel all were like, "Oh, you don't want to show the price difference? We'll do it for you." And they all tweeted
Uh-huh.
showing the
Exactly.
prices, and I was like, "Damn."
And I'm just like, it's just this the state of Xbox right now. I just don't understand it. I don't even think they understand it. I think they're just kind of playing
I
it by
don't think they
ear.
do.
Let's just see what happens.
I mean, to be honest, when they
But
said that
yeah.
she was coming in and they were like, "Yeah, she's gonna like turn things around," and I was like, "Bro, look, I don't know what to tell people, bro. I am like the strategist of all strategists. Like, I love strategy games. I love the logistics in them. I love all this stuff. I literally see no way out. Like, and I love this type of puzzle. Like, this is my jam. Figuring the way out. Like, what can you do, like, to get up out of this? Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing. The only way they can do is sell division, close Xbox, it's over.
Yeah,
It's
I'm like,
legit
I mean,
over.
honestly,
It,
like you were saying, Logic said earlier, stop the hardware. Like, hello, Sega. Sega's doing
yeah,
wonderful now, by the way.
we are we are joking. I'm not a fan of this because then PlayStation will have free reign to fuck us over even more. But unless, like, I don't think Asha is the answer to Xbox, sadly. And the way it was proven is with this price hike.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
how?
I don't think I don't even put it on her. Like, I just don't think there
No,
is an
I'm
answer.
putting it on everyone. Like, it's like, I don't know, but
You're
it's
starting to
like
bot really
legit.
bad. Like, yeah, I can't. Yeah,
I will shut up again. Sorry
yeah,
about that.
yeah. You're botting. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's anyone there. And then honestly, the some people don't want to blame, and not all of them, right? Because everybody didn't ride this train. But at large, the fans, like, y'all are at fault, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's plenty of people I've seen over the years. Let's not act. We was all privy to it. We was all on social media. We have all seen every time PlayStation fans or Nintendo fans or any even other Xbox fans have been like, hey, like, I think, we need to reevaluate. We need to look at these games. We need to look at the quality. We need to look at this, that, and the third. The other fans were like, nah, we're good. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about Xbox. We good over here. And we were like, are you sure though? Cause
Literally everything we told them has come into fruition. We told them console sales matter. We told them buying your games matter. Like, literally everything that, and all of a sudden now, again, it's like they had this epiphany that came out of nowhere where all these things are true, but they didn't get it from us though. It's like they came to that
yeah,
conclusion on their own. And there's no credit to anybody else who said it before, because we were just hating, right? We were just hating at the time. We told them Game Pass was not sustainable. They were just like, that's a lie. These games are, Game Pass is making $3 billion of revenue. I'm like, you do realize there's a difference between revenue and profit, right? Like, you keep spouting the revenue, but not telling but there's a reason we don't know how profitable it is. And I'm like, and they're just this thing where I'm like, if they keep adding more games into Game Pass, that 3 billion can't sustain everything, right? It's like you got this cup and you're overfilling it with content, but it's still the same. You're still making the same 3 billion. Like, that's not going to sustain everything. And they keep saying, but look, Forza's like the number two game best selling game of the year. Why do you guys keep saying we need PlayStation? I'm like, you notice that you keep using Forza as an example, right? Like you have no other game to kind of use as that, oh, look how well our games sell without being on PlayStation, because Forza is the exception. And it's like it's not the rule. I don't know why you are comparing Gears to Forza, because Gears has really never had that type of pull.
It really
It's
did.
not to say it's not a
Yeah,
good
it hasn't.
game, and it looks great, but it's like I think you guys are misrepresenting what you think Gears is gonna do. And now with this another $150 increase on these consoles, you certainly aren't about to convince anyone to invest into Xbox to play Gears E Day. I'm sorry, like I said this last week. The only really people who care about Gears E Day are people who have been into the Gears ecosystem, who are fans of Gears. Because, and
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to origin stories, the only people who really care about those are people who care about the history of that game, right? Like, how did it all start? How did this war begin? What is going on with, how did Marcus Phoenix become Marcus Phoenix? Eh, the questions like that are from hardcore fans, right? And that's not to say you can't get new people on board and get new people excited for it, but you also have to have a price point that's not a complete jump scare to new fans. Like, it's like they may have been curious, but are they $800 worth curious? Um, no. Like that would instantly cure my curiosity at that point. I'm like, okay, that looks cool. How do I get into Gears? And it's like, oh well, if you want to get like a Series X or whatever, which will be the best place to, as far as console goes to play this game, that'll be $800. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good on that actually. I'm not that curious. Um, and then the Series S, which is supposed to be like the best value proposition, is now like the same price as a fucking PS5, and it's just like that joke of a console. I'm sorry. Like I hated that console since the moment they announced it, and it's like Logic said, it's been nothing but a pain to Xbox and its fans, regardless of whether they want to admit it. Like they don't want to say it out loud, but they don't like that console just as much as we do. But they can't. They have to save face and say, oh, it's fine. The console's fine. You guys, it works perfectly fine. You guys are just hating, right?
Yeah.
Because they were crying about that whole Baldur's Gate situation and then the
Yes, they
whole Black
were.
Myth Wukong thing. Um, so it's really interesting to kind of see how Xbox fans have kind of pulled a 180 on basically everything that they swore was great for the industry and great for Xbox. And oh, PlayStation's going to do it too, guys. PlayStation's going to move to a more multi-platform strategy. They're going to go day and date on PC. They're going to do all these things, and they're going to be in the same exact position as Xbox, right? And we're going to have their games on our Helix next generation. When PlayStation officially goes day and date, we'll be able to play all your games better than you can, right? That was the whole proposition.
Mm-hmm.
And then when PlayStation pulled out from PC, I think that's kind of when
Oh
that
my
was kind
God,
of the
Twitter,
last straw
Twitter,
for a lot of
Twitter,
these
Twitter
guys.
exploded.
They were like, wait a minute, we were
They couldn't
cool.
believe
We
it.
were cool with this. We were cool with the whole Xbox games going over there because we thought it was going to be kind of okay, you can have our games, but we'll also have your games through Steam and things like that. And
They
that
Mm-hmm.
are
was essentially like the last straw. They were like, hell fucking no. They're pulling their games away. Xbox, you need to do something. We need to have exclusives again. This cannot be. Like, we can't have this. It's not, they can't, this is supposed to be a tit for tat. We're supposed to get things from them if they get things from us. And it's not fair. And that's when Asha
Ex-
comes in, and that's why she's championed, because she's gonna bring back what made Xbox great. She's gonna get us back to that 360 lifestyle, like where we were on top of the world and we were the number one console. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. Xbox is never going back to 360. Like, unless PlayStation implodes and then Nintendo, like the entirety of the Nintendo heads commits, septicue. Like, there's no way Xbox is going to be on top again. I'm sorry, and it's this ideal that's really honestly keeping Xbox fans. I feel like it's keeping them unhappy because they swear that this is a reality that can happen, and I'm just like, it's not though. Like, it's really not.
It's not.
Um,
there
and
are
I think
Xbox.
that, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, just real quick. There are Xbox fans like this. This is gonna hurt some of your brains. there are literally Xbox fans still insisting that Nishino's recent statements indicate that the off-platform strategy of putting games on PC is case by case, just like Xbox's
Yes.
is,
Yes.
and
I've
that
seen that. I've
and
seen
that
that. Uh-huh.
Seros will wind up on PC by 2027.
Yeah. I've seen that. And again, it's a tit for tat. This necessity that PlayStation has to be moving the same as Xbox, because that's the way they justify Xbox's moves. Like, because if, hey, the number one fan is doing it, or the number one, console is doing it, then Xbox is going to do it too. So it's like they're both doing the same thing. They're both in the same position. That's another thing they want to say, that Xbox and PlayStation are both in the same position, right? That this is a game wide problem, and that, you know, Xbox being down and PlayStation being down as far as console sales go are the same, right? It's the same thing. Look, PlayStation had the worst sales too, so they're in the same position as Xbox. And I'm like,
Not,
I saw
no,
that. I
it's
saw
not
that. I was
only
like,
I'm
that,
what?
like,
Xbox,
tripping in a race when you're number one is not the same as falling when you're in last place. Like, it's not the same. And it's just, but they want to put Xbox and PlayStation in the same position, because again, they need to feel good about where Xbox is right now. And honestly, if I was Xbox fan, I would just be praying that they're gonna stay in hardware, because that's the point we're at right now. That it just seems like this may not be a thing for Xbox in like the next couple years. Like, I know contracts have been made with AMD and things like that, and chips and things like that. So they'll probably go through with Helix, but I would be really worried that, Helix might be the last console that, or whatever it is, that you get
so
from Xbox.
about that, I think what killed Xbox hype is Helix. Remember, they were so hyped to play PlayStation games via Helix. They were like, it's over. PlayStation lost the console war because now we're gonna be able to play their games via Steam, via Helix. When PlayStation moved out of Steam, it broke their brain. That's why you're seeing now Xbox literally revamping Helix. I think Xbox themselves, I'm not talking about the fanboys, I'm talking about the Xbox company. I think they were banking on Helix having a PlayStation via Steam. When we found out that Steam, PlayStation is done with Steam like that screwed their entire generation. This is why you're seeing them scrambling to see what can we do. This is why the very last second exclusivity again. They have nothing. With Helix, beforehand they had,
You're starting to bot
we
again.
can offer you. I thought I was doing like a
Hey,
bad
look, I
person.
don't know what to tell
But
you,
you did
bro.
my guess.
Listen, at the end of the day, Amy Hood wants her money, bro. Like, she's ruthless, man. She wants her money. She answers to the shareholders at the end of the day. They are the people who run Microsoft. They're the
Mm-hmm.
ones who want, you know, the change, and they don't really care about Xbox. Shareholders don't give a shit about Xbox. They don't care about gaming. They don't care about the health of the industry or exclusives or what the fans want. At the end of the day, they just want to make sure that they make their money back and they make profit. That's what they care about. If that means axing the whole Xbox division at the end of the day, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's on the table or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if that's what it takes, they would do that shit. They would absolutely do it. And it's like, I don't really see, just I understood kind of Asha's vision when she first came in, but now with all these moves that are happening, I'm just kind of confused as to where the future of Xbox is leading, like what exactly it is that they want. She says she wants to be wants Xbox to be the number one in entertainment. And I'm like, I don't really know how you get there when your entry point is that expensive. I mean, if that's what you wanted, then it seems to me like Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond's plan was the better plan. Play anywhere, this is an Xbox. right? Where everything was an Xbox, where you could, you know, the marketing of you can play it on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your Xbox, your ROG Ally, and even your PlayStation, right? Like Project Latitude seemed like the smarter way if that's what you want. If you wanted to be the number one in gaming, that's how you would do it, because you're certainly not going to get there with hardware. Like it's kind of over with hardware. So it just
Mm-hmm.
seems like the smart play is just to put all the games everywhere to get at least get your money back on, the millions of dollars that you're investing in making all these games. um which is why I think the exclusivity thing is not solidified. It's more of a, as Matt said, a kind of a case by case basis. Like live service games will go everywhere, and their single player games are kind of like, oh, we'll pick and choose. And it's just like, I think they're kind of giving themselves that kind of little bit of space so that they can, if they need to, they can kind of renege and be like, well, we tried out the exclusivity thing, guys. We gave it a shot. Didn't really work. And in this climate of increased cost, it's just not efficient for us to kind of lock things down to a platform that's just not growing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to put this on PlayStation. Sorry, guys. Like, and I don't PlayStation. I mean, Xbox fans are not gonna like that. It'll probably cause some kind of the civil war in the PlayStation or in the Xbox fandom has already been going hard. They've been
Yeah,
fighting over
that's
everything,
been
whether
wonderful to
it's
watch.
the when Helix should launch, if there should be exclusives, if they should get rid of Game Pass day and date. Like, there's been infighting about all these things within the Xbox community. People that you thought were cool and friends have now seemingly become enemies overnight. And it's very entertaining to watch, but it's just kind of showing how uh there's just no direction within Xbox, because they're all kind of fighting about what should be done, because the
Yep.
leaders who are supposed to be telling you what should be done are also confused. So the fans are confused too, and now they're going at it. Um, but again, 2027, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
No, I
One thing
agree.
Omar said.
Go ahead.
One thing Omar said earlier that I have historically, long over my life and long over the duration of, like, talking about the business end of games, I've agreed with. Like, it's what I was taught in school, was like this thing of, if Xbox goes under, that's bad for everyone, right? Because it removes a piece of competition. And then, PlayStation, I mean, it's an inherent truth relatively in economics that, the less competitors there are, the more prices go up. But one thing I have been considering lately, and this kind of converges with this other theory that I've had, which is that, I'm asking, I look back at the 90s when we had 8, 9 consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And then what the market said, in hindsight, we now realize what the market was saying is, yeah, we're not going to support all these consoles. Like, the competition is great, but we're not supporting CDI, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx, Atari Jaguar, right? We're not supporting all this stuff. We will support Sega, Nintendo, and PlayStation. Finito.
Yep.
And the industry learned, right? And all those additional consoles and their vendors went out of business, and then we were left with 3. And I've been asking myself recently, like, because the industry the market often does this stuff, and then we don't listen, right? The industry doesn't listen, and now we have all these pundits and stuff that also are not listening. I wonder if the industry is saying, we're only going to support 2 consoles. We're only going to support 2 platform owners. We're only going to support 2 vendors, right? Those 2
Mhm.
vendors and PC. And so this notion, I mean, I pause now with a little more caution than I ever have in the last 20 or 30 years, right before I say, hey, if Xbox goes under, right, PlayStation and Nintendo will be then, that much further unguarded. Because the other fact of the matter is that Xbox being around has not protected us from price increases,
Facts.
right? Like, their presence on the landscape has done nada zilp, nada, right? Nothing for holding back, right, the breakwaters of, the kind of punishing costs for some people. And again, but but part of that reason too is, as I ask the Xbox guys now, right, I say, so consolidation is good, right? Acquisitions are good, right? And they remember how many times, despite case law and history, like, I was pulling Supreme Court cases out of the 60s that I was trying to paint the picture for people that inevitably, without question, with zero exceptions, consolidation and acquisitions always end up bad for the consumer.
Yep.
And I had a whole army of Xbox guys dogpiling me every day, asserting that I was incorrect.
Every day.
Like not even like literally not even admitting that consolidation within the record industry made things bad for everyone. Right?
Yeah.
Which is just a preposterous position to take. But like, you know, here we are.
But yeah, I mean, I was there for all of that, man. That's what I can tell people. Like, people think, like, I'm like, we've been through this. Like, I mean, I basically met all these guys, even around the time when like all the craziness started, right? Like Xbox One generation, was like, you know, nearing its height or whatever. And even then, they were like, I remember when they were like, you know, 50,000 consoles isn't bad, you know, blah blah. And I was like, I think you guys are missing the point. You're missing the problem is that you're the only one that declined and you don't understand why, and nor do you care. And I was like, before you did 80 something million and you still got whooped in your best generation, and then you dropped to 50 and you're like, oh well, whatever. And I was like, but you don't think you're gonna drop worse the next generation without doing something about it? And sure enough, here we are at 30 to 35 million with Xbox no longer reporting anything. And we told people about the quality of some of these things, right? Again, I told people I kind of felt bad for Phil Spencer because, you know, Phil literally in his position, based on the feedback he was getting from Xbox guys on social media, is that he was killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Xbox is doing great. We're good over here. You know, I literally just stopped telling my Xbox homies anything. I was like, you know what? You got it, bro. You got it. Y'all are good. Halo Infinite is popping. The updates have been great. Y'all got Forge now. You know, that it's literally going to be Halo Infinite. You guys are going to play it till, you know, the dawn of time. Like, everything's going to be great. The last Doom sold like trash, perfectly fine. No issues. Like, I'm just like, why are we not acknowledging any of these clear, really bad indicators? And I was just like, but like, again, you know, eventually you were like, you know what? You can't tell these guys anything. One of my,
Because they won't listen.
I mean, they
won't
won't.
believe you.
They
They
won't.
think it's a console war thing.
Well, and that's part of the problem, right? Like, again, one of the most my favorite moments in Brat podcast history is when Logic. I forgot where you got it from, but you did the math on Game Pass subscriber levels, and it was like verbatim, like it was like spot on. And it was funny because everybody was like, how could you know that? You don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. Like, it was, and then the next day it came up and like Sarah Bond had said the number. And then the next week y'all were like, well, you know, because they were like, nah, how do you know? You know, the numbers could be 50 million, it could be 80 million, you know, it's super sustainable, you don't know what you're talking about. And then it was like exactly like within like 100 and something thousand or something, like near what you were like, I'm pretty sure this is about where they're at. And it was like, I think you said like 33 million, and she came out and she was like 33.6 million or something. Like, I was like, I laughed so hard.
Yeah, you know what that was? That was after they converted all of the Xbox Live Gold people to Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the math I backed into was because we had the Game Pass number from before, and we knew before they converted everyone, they had revealed the number of Xbox Live people.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, what they're at is they're at the old Game Pass number plus the people that they just converted, like, and within like 1 to 3 million of that, because we had also heard that there had been no growth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got like the pushback. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, the very next day, I think I even messaged you and I was like, bruh, the numbers though. Like, it was so good. It was so, because I forgot, somebody was fighting you in the chat. At least like 2 or 3 of them were like, you could possibly know these numbers. Like,
I think it was JD. I'm almost absolutely certain it was JD Gamer.
It was so good, man.
who used
And
to come by the podcast.
and
Then.
to be fair, you never really gloat about it, but I like to gloat about it because it's funny. Because there's several mathematic things and things that you've done on the channel when talking about this stuff that we were right on, and it's like they're still fighting you, and it's like, how many times do I gotta be right about this before y'all stop fighting me and realize I'm trying to help you? Like I'm trying to help you find a solution.
And this is the thing to keep it a buck. I mean, we've kind of read the entire case ledger rate of Xbox tonight, right? Like, what I wanna insist, right, and assert, because like there are plenty of PlayStation fans here, and I've fortunately I'm here on the podcast with Nate, and I'm like I tolerate you guys up until the point where you start talking about that PC bullshit, and then we fall out, right? So let me like I want to go back and say, like, it doesn't give me any joy. Like, I don't hate Xbox, and I don't dislike.
Exactly.
I appreciate where Morgan is. I know she said she couldn't stand I think this was the Series S. She said, like, I don't like. I grew up a hardcore Windows dude, like hardcore Windows dude.
Yeah.
And was an Xbox fan. And I mean, and like, I wasn't in the whole YouTube, Twitter circuit, but like, probably if I was, I would probably be right over on that side of the green line.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what was frustrating is, like, when you say, hey, we've paid $500 for this console and these games are coming out at 4K 30, and that doesn't bother y'all.
Yep.
Right. And then you get accused
and
of
that happened because of the parity clause. That's the fucking funniest thing about that.
Well, not exclusively because of
would
that.
you agree?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't entirely disagree with you, but like, I don't like again. I mean, there's something. I feel like there's something else besides that, because again, I go back to like Forza Horizon, and I'm like, y'all been on this Forza Tech engine forever and a day. You can't get your like, Forza Horizon is now the flagship of the console. It's no longer Halo, and you guys can't get better than 4K 30 in quality mode. And I'm like, and you got a studio and a half working on it.
Yep.
Right, or at least one dev team and a half, right? Because you cut turn 10 down by half, and now you're no longer TikToking the dev cycle, right? You don't have turn 10 doing Forza Motorsport and then Playground doing Horizon. You've got both teams working on the one title, and I'm like, you're 3 titles on the Forza Tech engine into this generation, right? Because you did Forza Horizon 5, you did Forza Motorsport 2023, and now you've done Forza Horizon, and I'm like. And the best you guys can do is 4K 30. Like, that don't make no damn sense.
It doesn't.
Like Sega made Vector Man, right, in like the final year of the Sega Genesis, and graphically blew out of the water anything that they had done on the Genesis, right?
Yeah, Vector Man
we're back
was
in
great.
we're talking about, like, we're back in the 16-bit era. And I'm like, you guys have, like, historically, and I know we're breaking paradigms with what consoles have historically done, but in general, right, we always get better with consoles as we, like, hit learning curve with the technology.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, we have Tsushima and we have TLU 2 come out on the PlayStation 4, right? 2 of the best looking games on that platform the entire generation. I'm like, the third time out on a console which doesn't move in configuration, it's not a moving target, it's not PC.
Yeah.
I would think that there would have been improvement. Like, literally, there has been, well, I would almost argue there's been no graphical improvement across 3 iterations of the Forza franchise. Apparently what Turn 10 has worked on for the last 3 years was ray tracing. Right? So I guess that's all a half development team of a studio, right, could do as far as, like, improvements go. But I'm like, to me, that's not enough. I mean, particularly, again, for your flagship title. But again, I mean, Halo was their flagship title, and we saw how they treated, Infinite.
Yep.
So I guess it's, similar track record.
No, I agree.
But again, I don't hate Xbox. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't give me any joy to hit these numbers and for them to turn out to be true. I want them to do better. I wish that they could do better. I can't remember if it was Hero or Wara in the chat said, like a $1 trillion company, like, they should be curb stomping PlayStation.
Yep.
Right, with the backing of Microsoft. The fact that that's not the case is a problem.
Agreed.
Hey, that's what Matt Booty initially wanted to do, right? They wanted to spin PlayStation out of business.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm never letting him live that down.
Oh.
But
They
no.
really thought that that they could do that with just money. They didn't think technology. They didn't think anything else. Just pure money.
Well, I mean, like I said,
I
if it was just money, like Google Stadia would have came in and beat the brakes off of everybody. I mean, Google owned about everything nowadays, so I mean, they should have known better. But
look what happened
Well,
yeah,
with Google. You mentioned Google, but look what happened to Google. They're gone.
yeah, I mean,
well,
they
I
are.
don't want to. I don't want to, and we won't drag it out. And I won't like super dumpster dive into this, but like
Yeah, go ahead.
to me, there was credit in what Matt Booty said as far as a strategy goes, because what he was talking about, and I actually wish there was more in the email behind the thing. I mean, what he's actually talking about was what the United States did to the Soviet Union for the Cold War,
Yeah,
right? I mean, it's actually and I love doing I love going back and looking at military, right, in national security history and employing those same tactics in business. Those things make sense. So
yeah,
what he said to me actually made sense, but then I agree with you guys, right? To spend money but not master the execution and how you're spending that money, right, is the footfall. What they did was they just spent the money and they just assumed that just by virtue of spending the money, right, they were going to make out,
exactly,
right? This is like not trying to be chauvinistic, but this is like the rich dude who just assumes that because he spends money on the girlfriend, she's satisfied, right?
exactly.
Like,
But no, I mean, and like I mean, and if Brap was here, I'm sure there'd be a sports analogy. But it's the same thing, right? You've seen teams outspend every other team in several sports, right? And there's caps and other stuff to try to prevent this going crazy. But you've seen sports where they spend the money and they still get whooped. Like, so it's
very
like,
true,
you
very
know,
true.
like I famously remember everybody being mad. I don't even watch baseball like that, but I remember everybody being mad at the Yankees, and I was like, "Yo, what is the deal?" Like, I actually had to ask somebody at some point, like, "Why is everybody mad at the Yankees?" And they're like, "Oh, well, they spend all this money and they get all these people, and like, it's not fair." And I'm like, and I was like, "Yeah, but they haven't won, so like, why does anybody, why does anybody care?" Like, I was like, "It's not helping apparently." And that was kind of the same thing. We're gonna spend so much money, and here, there, and everywhere, get the top people, and we're still losing because, like, at the end of the day, there's so much more to it than that, right? I remember seeing something that Dell tweeted the other day, and he was talking about like the science behind game development, and he was like, the difference in a team that has shipped a game together, that stays together, that then makes another game and adds to that team is a completely different beast than you creating a studio from scratch that has never shipped a game, even if it's full of a bunch of veterans. Like, everybody's got to find their footing. Everybody's got to be like who they really like working with. You know what platform are you working on? Like, all these things, they have to find their ground, and the producers have to be on point. The directors got to be on point. Like, all these different things, and it's like you're never gonna be directly like in line with someone who's already on a main team that has shipped a game that is now, the 96 Bulls. The 96 Bulls are famous for what they were because they were a team that was together the whole time. Um,
Yeah, it's like with the initiative. I mean, they thought that they had a ace in the hole because they got all these veteran devs to come together to make Perfect Dark, and they were like,
mm-hmm.
"Oh man, look at the talent, look at all this talent." But it's like you got all these Type A personalities working together. I don't think this is going to turn out the way that you think
quadruple
it
A.
is.
Yeah,
Like, these people are all used to running studios and having a say, and you have all of them trying to work together to, I'm sure they all have their own ideas of how they want the project to go, and you have people butting heads and just not, again, because they've never worked together before. So it's like it's great that they're these top talented you know development, or devs, but they don't really have the rapport, to start something like, a reboot of a esteemed franchise like that together, which is why it was disbanded. And I think why what's his name, the guy who initially worked for Insomniac left to go work at the initiative, and then like a
He
month later
immediately
was like,
came
okay, I'm
back.
going back to Insomniac. It was like, oh, it's dysfunctional over here, let me go back home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walked
um,
into a chaos. Go ahead.
the devil
Kaz,
that you know better than the devil that you don't.
What were you gonna say, Logic?
So, Kazurai came on Podcast Beyond when Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty were still there back in the PlayStation 3 generation. I think when he took over PlayStation, which I think
Mhm.
happened after the network crash of 2011. And Kaz said something that, and I hadn't yet transitioned into I hadn't yet transitioned into management and software engineering. I was still in my software engineering grad program, but he said something that has stuck with me the entire time. And he said, particularly in software development, your most challenging teams will be the ones who are the most talented. The most talented teams will push you. And then my extrapolation of what he said, because I don't think he said this, I think I've added this, is that right. And so when those highly talented teams exceed the leadership capacity, right, that's present in a
Mhm.
studio, then you have things like you have the initiative. You just get collapse. Like, and so,
Yep.
and I mean, it's great to put all that talent together, but unless you have the leadership in place, and the leadership that has to be in place, and this is a lesson I'm, becoming more versed in now. Like the leadership that is like it's not intelligent leadership. It's not the most competent leadership. It is leadership that figures out how to take the unique personalities and talents and put them all in the correct lanes and positions, which may not be the lanes and positions that equate to their titles. Right.
Exactly.
And so if you've ever read like The Wisdom of Teams, right, it's that type of environment. It's figuring out how to get highly talented, highly capable teams, but then organize them so that they can actually pull something off. And that's clearly, what didn't happen at the initiative.
Yep, I agree. I always explain to people, I was like, it's all about playing your position. Like, I was like, again, I'm not even a sports person, but sports is the perfect analogy for this, right? There's people on software development teams that have specific positions to play, and if everybody plays their position correctly, that's when you get these incredible titles with, the lowest amount of friction, and they, often create something incredible, right? Um, One of the things I watched recently that I saw a football player or whatever for here in Arizona. I forgot what position he played. I think he was a running back or something. And then the coach was like, "Yo, why don't you try like I don't know, like left tackle or something?" Like I forgot what it was. Like it was a completely different position, but like they did way better with him in this completely different position. But the coach was confident, like, "Hey, like look, man, I see something. Like I think you can do it. Like you're a versatile player, And he put him in that different position, and it was a masterful move, and they did so much better with him in that position, and then including himself. Like when like later he talked about it, it was like I never thought I'd see myself in that position. It was completely opposite from what I was doing, and he goes, but I excelled, and like the team did way better. And again, like you said, someone in that management position needs to be able to do that. I remember hearing Rob from who has worked with PlayStation Studios in various studios, and listen to him. He does animation, and listening to him talk about like the difference in like why we got certain scenes that we got in some of the PlayStation titles, because he's worked with Naughty Dog, he's worked with Santa Monica, and some of the stuff that he's
But
done.
then,
Yeah, and he's been like, hey, look, the reason y'all got that at the quality you got it at is because, at that time, the producer came to me and was like, hey, what does your team need to get this done, but get it done the right way? Like, hey, look, if I'm being honest, we need another 2 weeks. He said, you got it, and walked away. And he was like, his team was on point. They knew they were already doing what they were doing. They were, in cohesion, and like everything was good, and they gave them the time they needed, and they got it done for the quality level that they did it at. And it was like he was like that was one of the greatest things that he got working in the teams that he was lucky to work on at PlayStation Studios. And I was like, to me, that speaks volume, because I mean nothing has frustrated me more in IT than when someone expects you to do something faster than is possible. They're like, oh, we need all these computers updated by 3 a.m. And it's like, okay, well, the computers aren't that fast. Like something that's physically impossible, but they're just like, hey, if you just work OT, could you do that? And it's like, no, like someone who doesn't understand the position, basically, that's in a management position, doesn't understand the work that needs to be done and how to allocate the time for that properly is frustrating. And that works in any environment. But yeah, Yeah, no, I agree. Lots of good points. I know we got off on tangents everywhere, and it was great though. I love it. I love when the organic conversation comes together like that. Um, we'll jump into this last big one, but I want to segue into something I forgot to put in because obviously it's big news, and I know Morgan is very interested in this. Um, in the interim, and speaking of all this, these prices, and I caught Logic saying he got on the list too, whether he's gonna mess with it or not. Um, but the Steam Machine came out in the interim while we were in between all this. The list came out. Morgan got on for her 512 gigabyte. She is actually in the list, unlike me, who was like in the reserve. Um, but you had Steam finally reveal the prices. Bunch of guesses were wrong. Obviously, even Valve supposedly was like, "Hey, we didn't want it to be this expensive." Apparently, it went up significantly. Before they even revealed it by like a month or two. Um, Given all the prices, supposedly initially it was like 750 was around where they wanted to start. But the 512 gigabyte was revealed, no controller, 1,049. 512 gigabyte with controller, 1,128. 2 terabyte, 1,349, and then 2 terabyte with controller, 1,428. Like I said, it won't be like a super extensive one. You're either interested, you're not. But I know, Morgan, this fits you perfectly. Well, in what you want to do, uh, from the PC side of things, and I know you've been interested in this, and you got in. So, what was your initial reaction, and ultimately, you looking to make that final move to purchase one with the Steam Machine after seeing these prices?
Um, yeah, initially I thought that they were sending the emails out on like the 25th, so I was confused. I was like, I haven't heard anybody say anything, but I guess it was like that was like the deadline to fill out the form or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to get on the wait list. Um, yeah, I was kind of surprised when I got on there, but I don't know. I tend to have luck when it comes to hardware. I'm not good at winning like software, but like when it comes to hardware, I'm pretty good. I got the PS5 day one and then the anniversary edition PS5 Pro and then I guess the Steam machine. So we'll see. I'm still debating on whether or not I actually want it or not. Because again, I was surprised. I was just like, oh, okay. So I gotta make a decision to see if I'm gonna get this thing. I mean, it does fit my needs, like as far as what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I am a console gamer at heart. I've been on this, and Nate and everybody in here can attest to this that I've been on this. I don't like PC. I'm not a PC fan. I don't like the form factor. I don't want to sit at a desk and game. Like that's just not what I want to do. But there are games that are exclusive to Steam. Like I am a big indie gamer, and there are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
indie games that have caught my interest that are exclusive to Steam. And for various reasons, it's mostly because Steam has a very easy way to develop for. Like as far as like, there's a lot of red tape that you have to go through to develop on consoles. A lot of hoops that you have to jump through that can cost time and money. So most smaller developers, especially if they have like small teams, tend to lean towards more PC. So I'm not mad about that. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
reality of game development, and so I'm they're gonna do what's best for them. So I'm not upset about the fact that these games are exclusive to PC. It is what it is. But yeah, there are games that I've been wanting to play. And I was kind of debating on whether to get Steam Machine or a Steam Deck. Then the Steam Deck decided to go up in price. Like I had been looking for a Steam Deck for a while, but they were like all out of stock because of the chip shortage and everything like that. And then they again, like I said, they came back in stock, but they came back in stock at a higher price. So I was just like, well, I guess that might be a sign to just go ahead and pull the trigger on the Steam machine because again, it's in the form factor I like with a much more tailored OS being Steam OS. Kind of. I'm sure it's not a 100% plug and play experience. I'm sure there's some tweaking that you still have to do to it, but it's a lot
It's
more
pretty close.
tailored to the type of it's a lot more tailored to the type of gaming that I like to do. Just plug it in, get on the couch, and boot up the store, buy my game, and play it. And I don't need it to be powerful because I know that's been a big debate about the power of the Steam machine. Like, oh, it's not as powerful as a base PS5, which yeah, looking at it objectively, that is kind of ridiculous in 2026 to not be not be as powerful as like the standard console. But for me, again, I'm playing mostly double A and single A games that don't require 4K and all the bells and whistles of ray tracing. Like all the triple A games I'm gonna play, or I'm gonna play on my Pro. Um, I'm like again, the reason I want a Steam machine is for indies, and indies don't require the majority of indies do not require a lot of power, a lot of GPU, things like that. So again, this kind of works for me. Like the one big thing being the price point, which was when it was announced, it was obviously very ridiculous. It being $1,100 for the very lowest tier of the 512 gigabyte with the controller. Because now
Yeah.
Valve is selling the Steam machines in different variants of here's one with the controller and here's one without. Oh, and here's one with controller and with, you know, excuse me, the optional faceplates
Yep. The
for
faceplates.
an extra $400. What a deal. Um, but yeah, I was just like, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get the cheapest one. Again, the smaller storage, because again, I'm getting it for games that don't require that much space, and smaller titles and shit like that, and I have no problem hitting the delete button right when it comes to space.
Right.
Like I don't need 2 terabytes or whatever. Like it's nice to have it if it's there, but it's not necessary because I know how to hit the delete button if I need to. um so yeah, it's just a matter of, am I going to pull the trigger? Am I going to get this machine? I probably will, because I can't help myself, but I'm
Yeah.
still kind of debating internally. But I like what it stood for initially when everybody thought it was going to be like 600 to 700. I thought that was great for what we were getting.
So
But
the
again,
alleged 750
because
would have been perfect for you.
yeah, it would have been great. I'm like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, because of these chip shortages and things of that nature, and also because people are like, well, I mean, it's not as powerful as the PlayStation, so why does it cost much more than the PlayStation 5? And I'm just, because Valve doesn't have the relationship with these companies that make the chips the same way PlayStation and Xbox do. PlayStation and Xbox have made these alliances they've had this for years, right? These contracts that they have with these manufacturers for the silicon chips and everything like that. They've had that ongoing relationship for decades now, and so they can get these chips at a much cheaper rate than Valve, who doesn't actually ever really make hardware outside of the Steam machine, the initial Steam machine back in the day, and then obviously the Steam Deck. But
Hmm.
they're not a hardware manufacturer, right? They're a software kind of you know store developer or whatever. So they don't have that rapport, and so they have to
Well, and the
charge
and the amount
basic.
of it being the big thing, because like they don't anticipate selling 30 million of these things.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure there's going to be a very low amount of these things being made. I don't see this being a, a mass marketed, mass produced item. They're probably going to make it as demand, like they're going to make it basically like as the demand. Uh, what am I trying to say? They're going to essentially make what people want. They're not going to flood the market with it. They're not going to obviously not going to have it in other retailers, third party retailers. You're going to have to buy it the same way you buy the Steam machine at from Valve directly. And they're just going to make what is demanded, and that is it. And they're going to sell it at what it cost them to make. That's how they're going to sell it. They're like, it costs us this much to make it, so that's what we're going to be charging you people. Which at the end of the day, I get it. It sucks. It's very unfortunate, because what what I also really wanted this device for is I wanted there to be some type of competition in the hardware space. Like I wanted there to be more competition between Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I wanted there to be another competitor coming in, and I was hoping that they would try to undercut PlayStation and the rest of them to kind of maybe force them to reevaluate what they're doing with their hardware. But then here comes Steam doing the exact fucking opposite and just overcharging or charging more than everybody else in the market, which kind of, I guess, kind of made Xbox. I'm not saying they increased the price because of Steam, but I think the timing was a little perfect from when Steam announced their prices because now they don't look as bad. Like, we may be charging you guys 800, but Steam's charging you like 1,500 for something that's less powerful than what we're offering. So, I mean, they can kind of, you know, dust off of what they're doing by kind of like, block what they're doing with what Steam is doing. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, I am kind of 50-50 of whether I want to pull the trigger on this device or not. But yeah, we'll see. I think I am going to because I am very curious about how it works. And there's, like I said, there's obviously like a backlog of games that I really want to play on Steam. And I think this will probably be my last chance to do it because, again,
Yeah.
I don't think these things are going to come back anytime soon. And if they do, that's the thing
Yeah,
about
the fact
hardware.
that you got on the
If
list, I think is the big thing. Because like ultimately, if you didn't want it, you could definitely sell it, and I think that's the key thing to also keep in mind.
and with the way things are going,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't get this now, it'll probably cost more at another
Yep.
date, right? Like
Exactly.
it initially launched at 1,100. Who knows? Maybe by the end of the year, the same one will be $1,300 or something. With the way these prices of everything are going. So it's like back in the day, it used to pay to wait for hardware to go down, but now you need to be a day one buyer because that usually is now that's the new norm. That's where you get the best deal is
That's where
buying
you get the best
shit
deal.
day one before the next price hike. So maybe it'll be better for me to invest now than to wait. But yeah, that's just kind of I'm feeling. I'm just sad that it's to the point where this is kind of where we are with hardware, where it's just like instead of it being affordable for the average consumer, it's now just like, well, it's considered a luxury. I mean, gaming's always been a luxury, but it's getting to a point now where it's even more of a luxury, like
Yeah.
for the average consumer. So yeah.
Yeah, I laugh. I saw a tweet the other day that said somebody went to Micro Center. He goes, "Man, walking in Micro Center feels like going to the jewelry store now." He was like, "Man, I need to go to Jared."
I know security in the Microsoft probably got to be a top notch.
And
And
then
I saw Steam, or Valve, I should say, uh, re or rewrite their
Oh, up to
what was it
4K.
that yeah,
Yeah,
update their fidelity range for the Steam machine instead of saying because they initially marketed it as a 4K 60 machine,
yeah,
and now they've changed it to up to 4K, and I'm like, oh yeah, you got caught up in that shit, huh? Yeah, I was like, I think 4K. I think even before this machine released and people kind of knew the specs of the Steam machine, there were a lot of people, including Digital Foundry, that saying 4K was kind of generous for the specs that they were given. They were like,
yeah,
I think 4K maybe in older generation games you could probably get some 4K, but the current gen, I think that's kind of pushing it. 4K. This is more of a 1080p 60 type machine, kind of a Series S situation going on,
yeah. I think it'll do really
But
well
yeah,
for 1440p as well. So I think that's
yeah,
why I don't think you'll have much trouble with it on your TV at 1440p with
yeah. That's just
top
kind of the
settings.
main thing I was worried about, like how it will translate well on a 4K OLED, like if it's going to be some kind of issue. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Agreed. What were you gonna say, Omar? What's up?
I wanted to say, did you not share a link about how they're talking about how the current prices for PC per component are gonna stay how they are? They don't see them get lowered anytime soon. I
Yeah, I
think the
mean
graphic
there's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple things with that. I mean
Was a
Micron.
Lenovo or whatever.
Micron had commented about their strategic partnerships that they signed, and then Lenovo said that they'll never go back. While they said they'll never go back down to where they were, is what they said. And to that, I say to Lenovo what Logic famously said, which is the market will bear what the market will bear. So what ultimately happens is when inevitably they do start to go back down, what Lenovo is saying is even if the price goes down for us, it's not going down for y'all, except for where y'all will accept and purchase our product. So if they go back down to $100 for us, but you guys are, we're hating the 450 price, we'll charge you 220 and see how much you like that. That's what Lenovo's saying. They're saying business things. Because, like I was telling somebody earlier, I was like, they also said the new normal, as Lenovo stated, prior when COVID, happened, the new normal was everybody's going to work from home. And now you got a ton of people back in the office with no mask, like COVID never happened. So yeah, it's definitely not the new normal. But yeah, Logic. What's your? I know you're like me. You got plenty of hardware in that basement. And I know you put yourself on the list. So what are your thoughts going into potentially being on the list for this thing? Are you interested? Are you thinking about it? Are you messing around? Are you like, man, the tech in me wants one of these things just for funsies? Like, what's the deal?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely messing around.
Okay.
I mean, I was mostly interested to see what the lottery process was going to be like, just to kind of have insight into like how the industry needs to contend with these things, or how the industry chooses to contend with these things when I know that there are ways to contend with them that it frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
Like when even when these consoles went on sale, I'm like, you are literally AWS. You are the number one cloud service vendor in the world. If you cannot figure out how to partition off a part of your store, right, and put it on a load balancer, like globally, so that you can funnel just the people who want consoles to a certain workload so it doesn't get overwhelmed, right, and put people in a queue, like, it's super frustrating. At any rate, so I kind of wanted to see how Valve was going to handle this. I mean, I got on the wait list, but for me, like, where the price is, like for me, for my particular use case, where I really wanted this thing is I was not interested in putting this thing in the living room because I don't game in the living room.
Yeah.
Where I have, you've heard me describe it before. I have a workstation with a Mac Mini M4 and an ultra widescreen display. So like gear is only on like the right corner of my desk, right where that Mac Mini M4 is, and it's super small, very compact. I'm like, I literally have enough space here to buy a Steam machine and put it on the left-hand corner, and have like this setup where I have like my video editing studio and content creation and all that stuff. And then, after I've sat here like video editing for a day, I can flip a switch, right, and go over to the Steam machine and kind of play some light gaming. I don't have to go light off a beast of 12 fans, right, fire breathing dragon, right, to play something at 4K, right? I could just do that here. But at this price, it just kind of took it out of the curiosity threshold for me. And I was looking at other competing updates. You've heard me talk about, kitting out the studio with OLEDs, so that became my priority. So I just, if I had made it into the queue, there may have been a moment of FOMO that may have caused me to push the button, but it was it was totally a race condition with ordering OLEDs. I was like, I'm going to order this OLED at this point in time, and if like something doesn't happen with the Steam machine, like I'm moving on. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, you picked a stupendous time to order OLEDs because the deals that I saw on like OLED monitors were insane. Like, if anybody wanted one, this was the time to get one. Like, I seen some, and I'm not talking about just nothing. I'm talking about QD OLED, 240 hertz, all the bells and whistles for like $350. Like, it was crazy. So yeah, that was a great choice. Weeb, what's your take on the Steam machine? I mean, I think you're in the ballpark where you're just like, yeah, I'm good. Like you're good where you're at, but after seeing the price and everything, what's your take with that?
I mean, I also was I'm also selected to get the 2 terabyte version, but
Oh, you
yeah,
got in like the main line.
I got in. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna let it go because I mean, yeah, what do I need it for? I have a Steam Deck, so I can already play all those PC indie games. Uh,
Yeah, like you
I mean,
did
I
Kingdoms
have
of the Dump and enjoyed it.
yeah, it was great. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, what's the point in getting a yeah, pseudo console PC that's indeed weaker than the PS5 at a premium and yeah, if you really want to, you can probably build something comparable or better for that price. So yeah, you're kind of paying for the Steam brand, I guess. I mean, sure, if you want to own all the consoles, but the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, I already bought the Xbox, and I'm like, yeah, what was the point of that console? Because there's literally nothing on it that like I literally have the only games that I bought are 360 games that are back pat. Like everything else, you subscribe to Game Pass and you play the games there, but then that sort of you know only gets you so far because at some point it's like, yeah, you play whatever you want to play, and then you know then you're done.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think that's the like, if it indeed was sort of the initial price, it might have been fun for a novelty thing, but now, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's way too expensive for something you essentially don't need because it doesn't really have a function that you could not that yeah, that basically is already been seen to in my case, and it doesn't really add anything. Like it's not something you could um, somehow handle in a different way. I mean, I have a laptop that's still pretty. That's probably better than whatever they're putting in that Steam box. And I mean, I have a pretty hefty gaming laptop that I got from work. So I mean, if I wanted to, like, if I needed the power, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, if anybody wants it, hit me up. I'll reservation because I probably won't be using it. Yeah.
Cool. And last but not least here, Omar. Um, I mean, obviously you have a 47.
One.
You have a 4070 rig. Uh, you know,
No, I don't have any more. It's broken, remember?
it's not broken. You just don't know how to
So,
fix it.
so far, it is broken. And I have
it's
no
tempor-
warranty, so
It's
right now I'm fine.
temporarily out of commission.
Yeah, we
for,
will
for
see for
for for
how
people
long.
that don't know, Omar moved his PC and it tipped over. It is, trust me, PC parts are not that fragile. It's just a matter of somebody reseating everything properly, and it'll most likely just cut back on. But,
Okay.
but yeah, what are
Yeah,
your
no,
impressions
I
about the
have
Steam machine, Omar?
no interest in this one. I can understand why someone like Morgan would want to get one because, yeah, there are shit ton of stuff like to buy, but like, no, this is terrible. It's terrible in the sense of what they're offering for the price that they're offering it. Like, that's crazy. I think they're gonna get away with it because Morgan said it. They're not gonna overflow the market with it. So it feels like they're gonna treat this as a novelty item, as a
Yeah,
special edition of some kind.
yeah, essentially. I mean, it's I know Fox still wants one because she's like, it's cute though, and I'm like, yeah, I knew that was coming, but Yeah, the form factor is definitely a
I
big
know
thing that I've seen from a lot of people.
The PC people and you guys like you want it because you love tech and stuff like that, but damn, they are financing people like that, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think as long as you know what you're getting it for and you know what you're getting, like, cool. Um, like I don't think it does what it said it was set out to do badly. Um, I just think you just got to know what you're getting into. And the Steam OS is really great. And like I said, I've had my Steam Deck for a couple months now, and like I said, I at least for people who want that close to, um, you know,
Are you not
console
better off with a
experience.
Steam Deck?
No, the Steam Deck is weaker though. That's the problem, and that's why I said I think the
It
Steam
is
machine is
weaker, but
better.
it's still on the go though.
Yeah, but like that works for me, right? But what I'm talking about for what Morgan wants, it's better to have the power because Morgan don't care about the Steam Deck being portable.
Mm.
Yeah, she just wanted it as a device to do that, and the Steam machine does it better.
Yeah, I mean, and at these new prices of the Steam Deck, essentially, the one I want is now like $900. So there's really no
Oh yeah,
point.
you have the PC, the PlayStation Portable for outside.
No, I mean the price point of the Steam Deck now is damn near close to the Steam machine. So there's really no point in me getting the Steam Deck now.
Mm.
If the Steam machine is damn near the same price
Yeah, Steam Deck being
and it's
950 is
more
literally
powerful.
insane. Like it's absolutely insane. Still, shout out to the homie Sonny for selling me his Steam Deck for 300. I appreciate you, bro. Uh, 'cause that
Yeah,
was
and shout out to Nate for not selling it to me, because he's just rude like that. He's got 7 PCs, but he refused to just let me have sell me his Steam Deck. But it's fine.
but I don't have a portable one.
And mind you, guess where he plays his Steam Deck,
You have a
bro?
Switch too.
At his desk.
I mean,
He
yeah.
doesn't go anywhere with it though. He
Wait,
plays
wait,
it
wait.
at his desk.
I played it at my in-laws' house the other day. What you talking about? Oh man, Morgan's gonna
Let's just
give me
end it
crap for that
before you two
forever.
and
Morgan's gonna give me crap for that forever. But yeah, with that, we're gonna end it right there. Like I said, we did have another topic, but I want to cover it more heavily because there's multiple points in it. The
next
the
week.
interview from Noshino with Famitsu. But yeah, we're already over the 3 hour mark, so I don't want to make it go too much longer. The stream was lit though. Ton of people showed up. Looks like Henry made it in the end there. Hero, Hero, War, Thrifty, Viper, my boy Salazar came through. Nib even made it today. That was hilarious. Shout out to Nib for pointing out the premium edition of Forza Horizon 6 and how crazy that is. Because I refuse to play Forza without the premium edition. So and it drastically changes the game and doubles your money. So I agree with that point. Sea Fresh, of course, Viper, Warwana. I think I said Hero already. Yeah, and anybody else that I missed. I went through the chat, but Sam also made it. There we go. I knew I was seeing somebody else. And then, of course, Fox made it today, and Will. I think that's everybody. But yeah, everybody else who was lurking or whatever, it was a lot of fun. I'm super, super glad Logic joined today, man. It created some incredible and great dynamic and organic conversations. This was probably one of the more fun podcasts we've had in a while. I thought the topics weren't going to be as exciting, but we definitely got there, and it was a lot of fun. Tons of participation from everybody in chat, and hopefully we all make it through. Do your best, take care of your consoles, dust them things out, because they're gonna have to last some of us quite a while. And you should take care of your consoles and your electronics anyway. So no time like the present to learn. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. Weeb, sir, let the people know where they can find you.
You still awake?
Yeah. Gaming.
All facts.
Automation.
Otter Nation. There we go. And Morgan, let the people know where they can find you, ma'am.
Hopefully gaming soon. Still with the parental units right now, so we'll see. But yeah, like they said, please please take care of your gaming devices. We live in a reality where, the value of all our hardware is surprisingly going up. And if you lose it now, you'll end up paying more than what you initially bought for it. So yeah, take those PS5s, those Xboxes, the Switches, clean them, dust them, make sure you're taking care of them. Keeping them in a well ventilated area. Um, but yeah, enjoy this plethora of summer gaming that's about to hit us. So yeah, Otter Nation.
Otter Nation. And my man Game Logic and our resident guest for today. If you want to be found, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
You can catch me once weekly at some random time over on the Rounding Off Infinity Gaming channel on YouTube on my solo cast, The Games Memo. The next episode will theoretically be next Friday, the 3rd of July. So keep an eye out for when that'll go down.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely tune into that. Those are always really great and a lot of fun. We always raid the chat and try to repeatedly get Logic off topic, and sometimes we succeed.
You guys did a very good job of that yesterday. How we wound up with a 2-hour and 15-minute solo cast. I don't know.
I love it. You just kept checking the clock. You were like, "Look, man, I got to be on the I-10 by 10." But anyway, yeah. So like you said in the chat, I was like, "Look, we did a great job of that yesterday." So shout out to everybody because it was lit over there. It was like 11 of us or something over there as well. So yeah, I love the love spreading around. Everybody's getting everybody's shows and getting some great stuff out there. So it's been a lot of fun sharing the community and the support for everybody. If we're missing you out there, shout yourself out in the chat. But whoever else is out there, I think we've been frequenting everybody's shows pretty readily lately. But it's all been a lot of fun because there's tons of gaming to be had. Thankfully, we're all blessed to have something to play and out here that we enjoy, and hopefully we get to keep doing that. And this dystopian future doesn't set in as fast as it looks like it is in some cases, or at least we get the cool cyberpunk part of it that comes with it. Hopefully. But yeah, last but not least here, Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
So shout out to everyone that came through. Hit that like button to stream out. Shout out to our guest. Play your game, dude. You can find me on Carbon Culture on Twitter. And again, play your game. And one more time, play your game. Oh yeah, and take care of your console because yeah, we're living in a very scary period right now.
Absolutely. And with that, I'm your host, Innate, or known as the Real Innate on Blue Sky and Twitter. Yeah, like the gang said, you can find me gaming, when we're not here, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We look forward to a lot of these games. We're about to get a lot more amazing games, and we've gotten some great games already that a lot of us are still working on and finishing. So again, yeah, man, shout out to the developers, man. It is not easy out there. We thoroughly appreciate y'all here. Um, like I couldn't game without y'all, and uh, about all I could program thus far, or that I have programmed, is a registration program. So look, shout out to y'all that program a lot of these amazing titles, the animators, the directors, the producers, every job on a development team and a publishing team. Greatly appreciate everybody. Yeah, because ultimately, man, I love gaming, and I've been doing it since I could hold a controller, and I hope that we could continue to do it for a very, very long time to come. And gaming can continue to deliver these great experiences and, this hobby that we enjoy. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Not the donation it is.